Hello, my name is HQ of HQ Reacts. Welcome to my channel. Please do me a favor. Hit the like button, share the stream, and click the notification button for new.
Hey. This is HQ back in the house. HQ back in the house, right? And I was looking at this the other day. It was a bunch of debates that were going on, right? And this was a debate that we had, that wasn't the only thing I wanted to talk about, but it was a debate between ABBA and Black Maga, right? Because, normally I don't hear too many Black MAGA because they don't really identify themselves like that on here. 9 times out of 10, they'll just say, hey, I believe in the Republican Party platform and blah, blah, blah. So when I ran across this ABBA and Stevie debate stream, I was like, okay, well, we finna do this. We finna do this. So I was like, we gonna do a little reaction to it, talk about it, have people call in, blah, 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 blah about this. And I was like, it was very interesting, the whole thing. I mean, I understand that politics in the United States is split amongst the left and the right, right? Democratic liberals and the Republicans conservative. At the core, we usually push for more government involvement, like with healthcare and education and welfare. With the right, and when the right pushes for less government and more personal responsibility and free markets. So this is where I get this free market and responsibility. Sometimes free market and responsibility, that's great, that's fine. But people need help every once in a while. But that don't mean there's a victim mentality over that. So over time, these approaches that we have, the differences in approach have gone much sharper, or come across as more sharp, more divided, more divisive. It's like two different versions of what our country should be. And that's the thing. That's the beauty of being in America. We should be able to have two different visions. And one vision shouldn't be imposed on the other. But you shouldn't think my liberal ideas are supposed to be imposed on you, and you shouldn't think that your conservative ideas should be pushed upon me. That's the beauty of this country. That's the beauty of this country. Okay? Both sides label each other as evil. I don't believe in that, being two sides being evil, because it's easier to rally support when you paint your opponents as degenerates and dangerous and all of that. I just say I have a different vision for the United States, and that's the beauty of the United States, where you can live where you want to live, and I live where I want to live, and we can live differently. Okay, calling the other side corrupt, un-American, because I hear that a lot. I'm a lefty. I'm a liberal. People say, "Oh, you're corrupt." No, I'm not. I probably believe more in the Bible than half of you conservatives do. I actually kind of believe that I believe more in the Bible than you all do. But that's my kind of thing. But then this kind of language is very powerful, but it also pushes people further apart and makes compromise almost impossible. So that's why I was looking at this video, trying to figure out when the hell did they get together and decide they were going to do a debate, okay? Because it didn't seem like, I didn't know ABBA. What ABBA has about 2 million or so people that follow him. I don't know how many people follow Stevie. I've never heard of him until now. And so I was like, okay, let's listen to what they got to say. Let's listen. And it's some Black MAGA. So there's a big divide between us. Okay? All of us. Okay? Hello, hi, Bible with Noah. So there's a big divide. So I wanted to find out what this debate was about Why was this Stevie guy with the black hat, why was he upset at ABBA? Because ABBA had reacted to Charlie Kirk's funeral, or he had reacted to Charlie Kirk. And why was he upset with ABBA? So this is the direction in which we're going in this video. So let's find out what's going on. Okay.
You watched our video and you had some critiques for it. So yeah, let me know what you think we was getting wrong in regards to how we handled this Charlie Kirk situation.
Right.
Well, I want to keep what I felt was wrong towards the end, but leading up to that, just think it's a differing in opinions, which is fine. That's what we're here for, man. But I think if I can recall correctly, the beginning of it, it was more like you were talking about how the right wants to, or we need to tone it down, or I don't want to say we, right? It was more like focusing on the right versus the left. You know what I mean? And you felt a way about, I'm assuming what your intent was, just focus on the right. Now we need to tone it down, and we're doing the same thing that the left was doing, bro. And where I differ in opinion with you as far as this whole situation is that I don't think anything should be toned down if we're highlighting, if we're focusing on the right people.
So now why is it that we all in the middle, the ones that don't care about, I don't care about left and right. I come from the left, but that's fine and dandy. But I think we have tone problems on both sides. There's tone problems on both sides. I'm not saying they're equal. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is everybody needs to stand back and have the grace and the dignity that Erica Kirk had. You need to stand back and have the grace and the dignity that the young lady had at her husband's funeral. That's both sides. At least have the grace and the dignity to speak to each other with a little bit more respect and tone down the rhetoric. I believe that wholeheartedly.
You know what I'm saying? I think that the right versus left is being overhyped, which makes sense because we're divisive as hell in society, man. But, the demons are demoning. You know what I mean? And regardless if it's right or left, I feel like, these people need to be held accountable, and we need to zero in on these individuals. And I don't think a toning down at all will work, given the climate.
Okay.
And, I'm not going to say I felt some type of way at the beginning when we're focusing on, like, the emphasis of your video was to highlight Charlie, and then you were trying to compare it to other things that may have happened that were similar.
Well, what he did was, I'm assuming he tried to compare Charlie's death to maybe George Floyd. I don't know. I don't know what he tried to compare it to. I tried to find that video, but it's so maybe they took it down. I don't know. Right? He tried to compare that response, the response of the right, to the left. So when George Floyd died, there was celebration on the right. Okay. There was celebration on the right. Abba is from Ethiopia, or he's from Ethiopia or Sudan, one of the two. I'm not really sure where he's from. So there was celebration on the right for the death of George Floyd. So there was celebration on the left for the death of Charlie Kirk. Okay, two comparisons. We both saw two people killed right up on camera. Two people. To me, it's the same thing. Two people being their life taken on screen. Okay.
Sure.
And I think that's taking attention away from, the elephant in the room, which is Charlie Kirk situation, which we never had a situation like this happen ever.
Yes, we did. We had George Floyd die on camera. Hey, Black America, McHale, drop kick. So we had both of these people die on camera. So this is traumatic for all of the United States. Both deaths on camera.
Because of the
Doesn't
social
matter.
media.
Doesn't matter, Black America. That's what you don't get. Doesn't matter whether it was a dope fiend or there was a saint. two human beings, to me, two human beings on camera being snuffed out matters. They both matter. They're both human beings. Hi, Joel. They're both human beings, and it should matter to everyone to see another human being snuffed out on camera, whether it's a dope fiend or a regular person. Doesn't matter. Okay? Which is even more tragic, Joel, that the other one was killed for no words.
And the fact that everyone was able to see it. You know what I'm saying? And that makes the situation a whole lot different than anything that's happened in the past as far as a murder of this magnitude. And, you know, it seems that you were minimizing the impact of what happened to Charlie.
Okay.
And,
what?
And
yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna keep rolling out. I'll let you.
No, go for it. If you're still on this one, I just want to move from this topic.
Yeah,
but
I don't want to roll out like 10 things and have you.
Yeah. It's always better to go point by point. I think so.
Yeah, we should go one for one.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
It felt like,
right.
From my end, it felt like it was a right versus left type of thing, and you know what I mean. From how you were describing it, you know,
it is a right and left type of thing. The reason why it's a right and left type of thing is because on the left, we look at it as both tragic. We look at them both tragic. On the right, it seems as though you're saying because this person was a dope fiend, this person wasn't worthy of living, and so therefore they didn't live an honorable life, so therefore they don't deserve to live. So if that's your thought pattern, that's what you think. But I think all human beings are worthy of life. Okay? All sentient human beings. People get killed with no words every day. Attacking free speech is not the same. That's not the case. That's not what we're comparing about. I'm comparing two human beings, one to the other. Has nothing to do with what they said and how they said. Charlie was no more worthy of living than George Floyd. No, Charlie was no more worthy of getting killed like that, the same as George Floyd. Neither one.
The right's doing this, the left's doing this, and you're saying it's hypocritical of the right to be complaining about the same things that the left is doing, or what the right is implying that we're doing. And to me, it shouldn't be about that. It should be about we isolate, you know, the evil, the degenerate shit that's going on. And when we try to minimize or just bring up the comparison between Charlie Kirk and everything else, it minimizes the tragedy that everyone just witnessed and like the impact.
Yes, just like he's saying, he thinks ABBA was minimizing the death of Charlie Kirk. Just like the left thinks you all are minimizing the death of George Floyd. No one is worthy. That's correct. So therefore, it should be full stop. It should be full stop. Okay, it's full stop. Nobody deserves to get killed. And when Black America brought up George Floyd being a dope fiend, he was minimizing George Floyd's life too. That's what I'm saying. The right likes to minimize George Floyd because he was a dope fiend. And the left wants to minimize Charlie Kirk because he said words. No, they're both worthy of life. I don't make a distinction between what you did and what you didn't do. Okay? That's what the problem is. See how I think I'm more Christian than you all? I think they're worthy. I believe the human beings are worthy. I don't make those distinctions. You all make those distinctions. I don't.
Impact it had on everyone, man. So I feel like it's deflecting from it, and it's like Charlie Kirk, his tragedy was important, but other things has happened, and the right was doing the same thing. So it's kind of like, no, it is to me, it's minimizing.
No, we didn't make him out to be a clean man. He was just a human being. Neither one of them are more, no, in God's eye, neither one of them are neither more or less important. That's the difference. I don't look at them neither more or better. Just two human beings who were killed on camera. Everybody's trying to say, well, because he got killed for his words, it doesn't matter why they got killed. They did.
You know what happened.
Got you. So I think there's 2 points in there. One being the hyper focusing on right versus left. You felt like we did that too much. And the second part is minimizing Charlie Dess's murder. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. So just to go to the first point, I did have that in my notes. I think in your video at around 2-minute mark, you said that I was minimizing Charlie Kirk's murder by comparing it to other political violences or like contextualizing it in the.
That's correct. It doesn't make him a good human being. It doesn't make Hitler a good human being. It doesn't make Charlie a good human being. It doesn't make George Floyd a good human being. It just means a human being who died on camera. I have empathy for a human being that died on camera, regardless of whether he was a Hitler or not. You see how that's Christ-like? You see how that's more church-like than what y'all think? Y'all think somebody has to be worthy to live or be able to have life or be able to not be killed. That's not how that goes. Not in the Bible. That's not how it goes.
Way that I was doing.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm minimizing it. I disagree with that characterization for a few reasons. I think it's natural when someone dies that we try to understand why. That's why people love murder mystery. That's why people, every time someone dies, they want to know who the perpetrator is. They want to know who their motivations are, because murder is.
No, that's the difference. This channel is not a left and right. We're going to blame the right or we're going to blame the left. Nope. That's the whole point. I'm not closing any conversation. I'm saying to you, don't tell me George Floyd died on camera. Don't tell me George Floyd was a dope fiend so you can paint my mind to make it seem like he's not worthy of life. That's all I'm saying. Don't do that. He was a human being. And GOOB, go tell whoever you wish to tell that this channel is racist against white people. Anybody who's been over here longer than half an hour knows that's not the case. So please, feel free to tell whomever.
Generally something that we see as incredibly heinous. And so understanding what led to that is always important. When I'm comparing, this is not the right word. What I'm doing is that I'm explaining away how our society led to this moment and this man, because he wasn't murdered in a vacuum. This wasn't a crime of passion. This was an individual who's incredibly troubled, and he decided to go out and murder somebody for their political opinions or affiliation, maybe because they had mentally ill issues, who knows? But there's a landscape, and there's a lot of things that lead up to this murder. It's always important to examine these things, because if we don't understand how we got here, then we're going to be doomed to repeat it. It's never, in my opinion, a bad thing to contextualize any world event, provided you contextualize it fully, right? Or at least you try to, because without context, then all that happened was that someone was shot. Context is everything.
Well, to that,
I don't think anyone deserves to die. That's the problem. No, you all want that to be the problem. That's not the case. That's not. Hold on a moment. Hold on a moment.
Call from
Dave in Milwaukee.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Y'all over here trying to prank me? I don't have time to be pranked.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, how are you, ma'am?
Hello, hi.
Hi. Hey, I'm a Trump supporter and MAGA guy, but I just wanted to make a comment kind of in support of what you were saying.
Okay.
And if it's okay if I use your format to do that just for a moment, is that all right?
That's fine. That's fine. Yes. Please.
Okay. For anybody out here listening to this who also voted for Trump, now, yes, George Floyd was committing a crime. Right. Yes, George Floyd had some issues. He was no saint. But for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, that murdering SOB had his foot on that man's neck. The last time I checked, making counterfeit $20 bills was not a capital offense. And you can be a conservative and a Republican, and you can be against the kind of person George Floyd was, and at the same time admit that he was murdered. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have a great day.
I appreciate it. Thank you. That's a thought. That's my thought. He might have been a disgusting person. He might have been. I never knew of George Floyd until George Floyd lost his life. But that does not mean that he was not worthy of life. Okay. So I'm saying On the right, people celebrated his death, and I'm assuming that's what Abba's saying, that people celebrated on that side, and then people on the left celebrated against Charlie. So I'm saying both people were killed on camera. As a human being, that's very disturbing to me. Either one. I never seen George Floyd's tape. I've never seen that. I've seen the beginning, and I couldn't watch anymore because I'm a human being. I can't do it. Just like Charlie, I've never seen the actual shot because I cannot do it. Because it disturbs my soul. So I cannot do that. So it bothers me that both people lost their lives.
Point. That makes total sense what you're saying, but to me, it didn't come across that way when you voiced that in the video. It seemed like you were trying to, highlight the divide between the right and the left, or whoever the instigators of it are. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't seem like you were trying to get to a root of the problem or how we're trying to fix it. It's like, like I said before, I mean, what you're saying now, if you had voiced it that way in the video, I wouldn't have had the mindset that I have in regards to what you said. But in the video, it didn't come across to me like that at all. It felt like,
well, right now the pervasive narrative, and this is where it comes to the left versus right thing, the pervasive narrative that's online and that's being espoused by some of the most important people in our political stratosphere, is that violence of a political nature is solely left wing. Okay. And I remember at about 3 minutes, 29 seconds, when Matt Walsh is talking in your video, you said that I was interpreting what he's saying when he's talking about good versus evil. It's time for the righteous to prevail.
And that's the thing. We have people out here saying the left is not right. I'm of the position that I'm more Christ-like than a lot of you on here. I believe that I am. Okay. I almost been a nun, having read the Bible, I memorized the Bible, did a speech in front of my hometown at the age of 8 of the whole Bible. I think I'm on the left. So I think I'm more religious than a lot of people. So I'm not evil at all.
Over the forces of evil. You were saying that I was making a left versus right thing, right? But that's just not true.
Hold on, let me make a correction, because you go further on in the video, I recognize that point. I said, hold up, if Matt Walsh is doing that, highlighting the left.
Do I have the missing books?
Like this,
Supreme.
That's unfair to do so. Then I went on saying this makes the left look bad. It makes the transgenders look bad. It makes everybody affiliated to this look bad, like guilty by association. That's not the right thing to do. It should be a good versus evil thing, right? But then I went on.
You said, do black people understand some white people would not have cared if George Floyd was a Boy Scout? They like say, of course there's human beings on the planet like that. Of course. But that doesn't direct my feeling or my love or hate for the human being. That's it. It doesn't run me. I don't hate people.
Because
whether they're white, black, Mexican, or whatever. I take people as they present themselves to me. If you present yourself as a reasonable human being, you and I can talk.
A couple other videos of people uttering or echoing the same sentiments as far as, righteous and good and evil. But I did highlight Matt Walsh in that video specifically saying, all right, I see that he is describing the left in this manner. And that shit.
Why is it that you all don't like Matt Walsh? No, who is it? I think it's Matt Walsh. Who is it?
Me to move.
Right. But again, at about like 6 to 7 minutes in the video, you kind of do it again where you say that, that's how I'm interpreting a lot of this narrative of good versus evil. But it's not just Matt Walsh. Ben Shapiro said that most of the political violence today is flowing from left-wing movements and ideology. Elon Musk was on Twitter. He said the left is the party of murder. If they won't let us live in peace, then our choice is to fight or die. Alex Jones said the right-wingers are in a war during a live stream. And he said that the left has been put a bullseye on Trump, and he put a bullseye on...
Why is it you all think that the left wants a war? We don't present ourselves as wanting a war. I've never presented myself as wanting a war. I've always approached this with peace in mind. Most people approach this with peace in mind. Why is it that the extreme right and the extreme left always want to fight about something? Why is it that we can't live in harmony? I don't understand. I'm not representative of the extreme left. I just am not. PJ, hello, PJ.
His supporters. President Trump himself, during an interview, let's see here. Let me pull up the clip because I think it's just important to me to get the exact words that he said. On Fox and Friends, he says, "We have radicals on the right as well." And he says, "I'll tell you how. I can send you the clip you wanted."
TJ says all the violence comes from the right. Not all the violence. We have some violence from the right, some violence from the left. According to studies, it might be more from the right than the left. But I put a link in the chat in my video last night of a young lady who we don't have to prove it, PJ. That's all you got to do is look it up. Go do the research. It says what it says. We not making this stuff up. It says what it says. I posted a video I posted a link to the list of all the shooters and the killers and all of those people, political killers and shooters last night in my in the last video that I did last night, and that has all of the names of the people, the violence that has happened on the right and the left, and it clearly goes through the left and the right, but it primarily lists a lot of the right. So I'm just saying it lists the names, and you can look it up. Okay. PK Toes, Sir Roast a lot. Hey, to healism. I didn't list it, PJ. This was a person who listed a person who did it off of the Instagram thingy or the TikTok thingy, and they just listed the people. They named the names and their crimes. And I'm saying that's all you have to do is go on that side. And that's all you have to do is look up that link that I posted last night. I wish I could post it again, but I don't know. Wait a minute, I'm going to post it again.
I'm going to just read it verbatim, his quote.
I believe you, though, bro.
I'll tell you something that's going to get me in trouble, but I couldn't care less. The radicals on the right oftentimes are radical because they don't want to see more crime. The radicals on the left are the problem. So when I'm talking about right versus left, I'm not talking about someone in a vacuum or someone at home. I'm talking about the most important people in our political discourse, framing most of this violence as I only left. And what you did in the video, and I did appreciate, is that when we said, if you look at the numbers, people got mad because I quoted the ADL, but there's all sorts of things from FBI statistics to different organizations who track terrorist attacks. Most of it comes from religious extremists and then right-wingers. Left-wingers at the bottom of that list, especially over the last 10 years. So I'm not trying to frame this as left versus right. That's the plate that's already been set. Since Charlie Kirk died, the right has not stopped politicizing his death. They haven't stopped using it for fuel for their attacks on the left. And so in that climate, you're asking people to not talk about left versus right, but if the left doesn't, then just right gets to make the narrative that they're the violent ones. And it's just not true.
Well, my opinion is that both should submit. It's not a left and right thing. It's an evil versus good thing. You know what I mean? And that's, I mean,
why would you say it's evil? Son of Cool, Michaela Tai. I mean, why would you put it like that? Good versus evil. Because I know I'm not evil. So if I know I'm not evil, you know you're not evil. Why is it being framed as good versus evil? And I'm more religious than a lot of y'all. No, I know more about religion than a lot of y'all. So I'm just trying to figure out how I'm the one that's evil, and I practice more along the lines of the Bible, even though I'm not religious like that. I practice more along the Bible than most. I'll prove it to you later on.
And then it's me watching you, so I'm expecting that to be the.
Why would he be drinking a big old bottle of water right in the middle of the damn video? Just ignorant.
That should be the point. You know what I mean? It's like what you're doing is adding just, fuel to the fire to what you're saying everybody else is doing. Like you're highlighting the hypocrisy of people complaining about what the left does, essentially what the right is doing the same thing. You know what I mean? But with that, like I said, with that the Matt Walsh clip, I specified I definitely could tell he was highlighting the left. Well, all that shit is fucking wrong. And I said that in the video.
I agree.
I said that in the video, right? I said that it's not a left versus right thing. It makes everybody look bad. We need to focus on the motherfuckers actually making things horrible for everybody, the extremists, the radicals, all that. You know what I mean? That's what my focus was. I feel like that's what the focus should be for everybody.
Yeah, and I did have that noted in some of the things that I like that you did. I did appreciate that you actually said that, because a lot of people are not saying that, or they're just avoiding the topic entirely. But you have to understand, when I'm watching this video,
I don't know how to get the video. I don't know how to go get a video. I don't know how to do that. I'm just saying you got to look this up, PJ, because there's famous, what is it called? Reputable places that have did surveys.
When I'm watching the discourse, I'm looking at things in totality. So when I'm talking about,
what video are you talking about? When you say you're watching the video, what video?
No, I don't call you all fascists. I call your leader a fascist. I call Donald Trump a fascist. We call him a fascist. Okay? I don't call you a fascist. I call him a fascist. And he is a fascist. But you all don't seem to see that. So, but hey.
I think I was looking at a lot of the political coverage in regards to this. I've been looking at the people who are responding, everyone who's been talking about this, and how the public is talking. If you spend time online, they're not talking about this as like both sides. That's not a lot of the discourse. A lot of the discourse, especially from the right, is that they're just saying essentially the left is the violent party. Go check out.
Hey, sometimes the shoes fit. If you believe the things that Donald Trump is putting out there, I don't know
those
what
comment sections. Go check out a lot of the discourse from the.
But that's going to happen every time that happens. Every time someone from the left does something crazy, they're going to highlight the left. When the right does something, they're going to highlight the fucking right. It just that comes with the territory.
Right. But it should be noted that we should correct those narratives and say that these are not one-sided.
There you go. We should correct the narratives and say that this is not one-sided. It should be on both sides. Be specific. I'm gonna list them.
Things. If you watched our video, we didn't say violence is only right wing. We said there's plenty of people who murder people on the left from the left, and we said that. But the dominant narrative right now is that left wingers are the violent ones. Obviously, especially with
the dominant narrative is coming from the left, and that's not true. The violence is not coming specifically from the left and only from the left. It's coming from both sides, and that's the whole point. I can't keep saying to you, it comes from your side too, and you keep telling me, no, it's just the lefties that's doing the violence. No, it's on you all side too. Okay? Because he's acting like a fascist. He is implementing things that a fascist would do. That's all.
Most recent murder, it makes sense that it's going to be the dominant narrative, but it's important to not let those lies be able to be spread and to say, actually, guys, you're wrong. In fact, this year, there's been other people who've been killed. You said we were minimizing his death by bringing up these other murders, but those deaths are part of this discussion. The same thing that led to those people being killed is the exact same thing that led to Charlie Kirk being killed. And it's important to.
This kind of talk is what led to Charlie Kirk being killed. This kind of talk, when we say on this side, he's a pedo, when we say the X that you're evil, when you say we're evil and we say you're pedo and we say X, Y, and Z, that's how this violence, and this is what happened to Charlie. This is how it happened to Charlie. This is why it happened. Okay? Because you keep calling us names, we keep calling you names. Okay? And we get nowhere. Okay? What up, mailbox? Hello. Convergence, hello.
To know that, because if we don't understand that, then all this is just going to happen again. You said it was different in your video because Charlie Kirk died on camera and nobody was supposed to see that. You remember that you saying that?
Yeah.
Right. To me, I understand that the fact that he died on camera makes it much more graphic, much more in your face. Right. But at the end of the day, murder is murder. Dying is dying. Someone is victimized.
But it's the effect that it has on society. It's not the same. In a vacuum, it's the same. But
yes, the death of George Floyd affected people the same way. People were stunned and horrified. Okay? Stunned and horrified that George Floyd was killed on camera. They were stunned and horrified when Charlie was killed on camera. There were people who danced on George Floyd's grave when he died. There are people who danced on Charlie's grave when he died. Charlie is no more worthy of being a man than George Floyd. This is what I'm trying to tell you. And you all keep saying, Charlie is such a holy person. It doesn't matter whether he's a holy person or not. It doesn't matter whether George Floyd was a drug addict. They both still died on camera, and they both still were human beings, and they both still were worthy of living. That's what I'm saying. You're trying to make it seem as though Charlie is better than George Floyd. He might have lived his life better. It doesn't matter. Okay? They both were killed on camera by a deranged lunatic. Pantera bread, Pantera.
If people were able to see that video until the end of time now,
Sure.
right, they're able to see that man go out the way that he did. And
no, you know what, son of cool? I looked it up. I got 4 reports that said he died from asphyxiation. So stop putting that narrative out there that he died of an overdose. That's a lie. He died from somebody standing on his neck. 4 reports. Cool of son of cool. 4. Stop spreading that lie. A person stood on his neck.
And knowing up until this, I can't compare someone else that had the amount of influence Kirk had. You know what I mean? And to have, if he hadn't been murdered in front of everyone at once, your analogy, your comparison will be fair.
Wait a minute, you go to your website and you whine about what you want to whine about. Why you come to my website when I'm whining? I don't understand. Of course I'm over here whining. I'm whining at 2 human beings dying on camera. That's what I'm whining about. Charlie Kirk died as a human being. He should never have died. He should have been home with his wife. What are you talking about? Hey, Paul. No, I'm not spreading any misinformation now. Let's get that clear. Okay. Let's get that clear. George Floyd died because somebody stood on his neck. I have 4 reports that tell me he died because of that. And Charlie Kirk died because a deranged person decided that they were going to shoot him in the neck. There's no lies I'm told. There's no lies that I would tell. Okay? There's no point in lying. Paul, stop it.
Man, but
okay, can I ask you something?
You can't minimize
if Kirk was not killed on camera, if Kirk's not killed on camera, is this situation more or less tragic?
Hey, Quan.
It's less tragic.
So dying on camera makes a murder worse?
No, not the murder worse, but the effect that has on the people is worse because everybody can see it.
It makes it different. But from a moral standpoint, it's the exact same. There's no difference in morality. It's just more shocking.
It's a different conversation. I'm talking about tragedy. Morality is the same. I'm talking about the effects it's having on society.
Yeah, but if I'm talking about other murders, I'm talking about the moral aspect of it. But that doesn't mean that we can't contextualize it with those other murders. You say it's not comparable, but
Yes, it is comparable. They were both 2 human beings who got killed on camera. It's comparable. That's as far as it is comparable, but it's still comparable. They're both horrific things that happen. I'm saying stop trying to minimize George Floyd and expect us to rally around Charlie Kirk. They both were killed on camera. Period, point blank. It doesn't matter whether George Floyd was a drug addict or not. 2 people killed on camera. Stop it.
I disagree. They died for the same reason. They died for the exact same reason.
If you had related that way, trying to bring up the similarities and how you conveyed it just now, it would make more sense. But that's not at all how you conveyed it in the video. It came from, a leftist bias type of perspective from my end that you were trying to minimize it by bringing up other similarities. You didn't bring up anything up about it being moral or same morally. You were just saying, to summarize it, Kirk died, everybody else died, and this happens with political violence.
Yes, because what I'm getting at is not how he died,
right.
or like in front of who that he died. Right. What I'm focused on is why was he killed. Okay, so let me say I agree with you. Let's do a different exercise. Let's say I agree with you. Right. These are different to a degree. So what's your point? Shouldn't contextualize his murder?
Right.
Well, in your video, it didn't feel like you were contextualizing. If I felt personally that you contextualized it, trying to
wait a minute, dial star. How is Cowboy right? They both died on camera. They're both tragedies. This is what Abba is saying. He's saying they're both tragedies. They both never should have been laughed at. They both never should have been danced to. They're both human beings. How is Cowboy right? Okay, that makes no sense. Abba is right. They're both deaths. We're not trying to minimize Charlie's death. What we're saying is all death on camera is a tragedy. All of it is a tragedy. Okay? All of it is a tragedy. People are trying to make it seem as though Charlie was just, no, he's a human being. He was a human being that talked at college campuses. He that's what he was. That's what he did. Okay? Don't make it go beyond what it is. Rocket.
To get to the root of a problem, then we wouldn't be here today. But I felt like your intent was to minimize Kirk's death by bringing up all these things that happened.
I would argue that you are minimizing his death by not contextualizing it properly. If you don't talk about why something happened and how we got here, then all you're doing is just describing a tragedy.
I'm not talking about why. I'm just focused on your video.
Yes, but if you're going to counter my narrative and say that I'm wrong for contextualizing it the way that I did, or you don't like the way I contextualized it.
You're saying you're contextualizing it now. When I watched it, I didn't think you were contextualizing. I just thought that you were minimizing it.
That's fair. I disagree with that. I think I talked about how we got here. I definitely said that in the video. I talked about the fact that there's been a string of political violence over the last 10 years and that this is not a shocking outcome. Kirk being assassinated is not the craziest thing. There's a reason why he had security. There's a reason why.
Yes, there was a reason why he had security. There was a reason why these things, he knew that he was in the line of fire. Charlie knew he was in the line of fire. Hey, John, Todd, okay? He knew that, so he had security. There's a reason why.
I think he was wearing a bulletproof vest. There's been threats on these people. So we have to take that into consideration, understand that this is not something that happened that is out of this world. Even Kirk himself realizes this is a possibility. There's a reason why everyone who does these.
I get your point, but that's not at all my argument.
But that's what I was talking about. That's what I was talking about in that video, for sure.
Well, I mean, I didn't receive that on mine. If I felt like you were contextualizing it, then we're on the same wave as far as.
See, once you talk it through, and we look at, the thing is, when everybody is a human being, when we're all human beings, this shit it makes more sense to me. I look at it that all human beings are worthy. Just like God said Mary was worthy. She used to be, I don't want to say it, but she used to be a lady of the night or whatever. She was a worthy human being. So was George Floyd. Worthy of life, regardless of the degeneracy of his life. Regardless on the left-hand side, the people who think Charlie was degenerate in his speech, in his thought, his talk, he was worthy of his life. He should have went home to his wife. You guys, hey, hit the like button. Why I can't get no, wait a minute, why y'all always coming in my house and I can't get no likes? We should have 40 likes by now. What's going on? I'm respectful when I come to your channel. I'm giving you likes. I'm giving you the respect. I'm not cussing anybody out. I'm just listening to this. Why is it I can't get likes? I mean, please come in the door and just like the video. That's all. Like what we listening to. At least 40 likes. I mean, it's 57 of us in here. I could get at least 40 likes somewhere. It'd be amazing if I could get some cash apps or anything like that. Hi, Shiloh, TJ, Mailbox. I mean, Sunday school teacher. Whoa, that's a name for you right there. AD, all of that. Likes would be amazing. Please and thank you. Please, please. I don't ask people to send me money. I ask people to give me likes. I would love to have the engagement. You here, listening to the content, please and thank you. Ben? Really, Ben, really, you just can't subscribe to a lefty. Jesus.
This is what happens when, politics get off the rails. But in the video, like I said, I thought that you were just
Shiloh.
minimizing it by
Okay.
comparing it to everything else. I didn't feel like there was any contextualizing there. So just got to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
And I've watched the video probably 3 more times because, you know, we're having this conversation today, man. And I didn't get it all that you were contextualizing it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't say that. I was saying those words exactly, contextualizing it, but I think that is what I was doing. But again, we could agree to disagree.
Right. Right.
So those were, I think, your first 2 disagreements that you had with me.
Right.
Yeah, you can definitely let me know some other ones that you had for sure.
He had,
and
this is the one. This is one of the most important discussions right here. When Charlie said he would allow his daughter to have a baby, without he would allow his daughter to have a baby. This is the one they're going to get into. Okay, let's see. They're going to get into this one. So let's go
now, man, because
I think this is very a very important, point about what Charlie was saying, what he was saying, and a lot of people took this very badly when they heard what he said. So in the Jubilee debate with the girl.
Do you feel like you manufactured a narrative on Kirk by showing those snips of him in your video?
Yeah, okay, we can address that because I did have that in my notes as well. I think around like the 20-minute mark, you said I took him out.
And that's the difference, Sunday school teacher. That's the difference. I'm taking the high road like Jesus would have. You're taking the low road. You're concerned about, you're saying that a human being, because a human being was a drug addict or a human being was X, Y, and Z, they're not worthy of life. And you're a Sunday school teacher. He's worthy of life just like Charlie Kirk is worthy of life. Now, you can debate whether his life is more or less better than Charlie. Okay? But a person, a human being, regardless of their life, still did not deserve to die on camera. That's the difference between you and me. I believe all human life is precious. It can't be just because a person is finna have an AB, an abortion, they can't be precious. Human beings on earth can be, their life is precious too. This is the way Jesus taught us in the Bible. So I don't know what you talking about, low life or not. He still didn't deserve to die. This is my argument.
Out of context, right?
There's phone lines is open. If you want to argue about something, call up, have an argument, but don't say he wasn't worthy of life. Every human being is worthy of life.
Not even take him out of context. You put your context on it, because if you let it play, I put the additional clips on it.
Okay, so just for the viewer, there's a clip that we played, maybe a 15 seconds of Kirk on a Jubilee panel. He's talking to somebody. This is a panel about,
I mean, everybody calling themselves Christians and right Christian, and they up here talking about George Floyd deserved to die. How you up here Christian and you talking about George Floyd should have died, or he deserved to die, or worried about how he died on camera? That's all. He was a human being. I don't care whether he smoked drugs or not. We all saw him die on camera, just like we all saw Charlie die on camera. 2 human beings. That's all you need to know. That's how Christ would have said it. You telling me because he a drug addict, he didn't deserve to live. Come on now. Come on. Don't call yourself Christian talking crazy like that.
Christians versus, or is it right wingers versus lefties? I don't remember what it was.
That's the beauty of it, Rocket. I stand firm. I stand firm by myself. I don't need him to talk about me or no other human being on this earth to talk about me. My deeds are going to be recognized, and my deeds are going to be recognized.
I don't know, but it was about abortion.
Okay, it was about abortion, right? And Kirk is a very Christian, self-proclaimed Christian. Everybody knows.
Hold on, we got a phone call here. All right, you call me up trying to cuss me out, because I cuss you out too. I'm religious, but I ain't that damn religious. Who's calling?
Call from
Black.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
It's from Black guys. Black America. How can I help you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hey, how are you doing today?
Fine, thank you. I'm on a tear.
I know. I want you to take a couple of breaths, calm the fuck down, okay?
Just calm down, bring it down a notch. So this is what I want to kind of explain. Us men, this is how we look at it. Okay, when something happens, HQ, who deals out the punishment 9 times out of 10? Who deals out punishment, men or women?
Men.
Men, right?
Right.
So men, what we're saying as men is we absolutely do get to judge when something is messed up, something is wrong, and somebody needs to get taken out. If it was up to, if with the way you're saying and speaking and thinking, if it was up to you as a woman, we wouldn't even do away with people that hurts children, right?
No, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. What I'm saying.
No, let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. I understand because you're a humanitarian and you're saying they people that they both deserve to live, and they're both men. We don't see it like that.
No, I'm not saying all human beings deserve. I'm not saying people who do certain things don't deserve to get the dirt nap. I'm saying George Floyd didn't do something that made him deserve to get a dirt nap, and neither did Charlie. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
100%. 100%. I understand that.
Okay.
But just because you're looking at it through a lens, you don't get to say what a man does in his actions. The George Floyd thing, yes, spending $20 fake, yes, he didn't deserve 3 grown men sitting on his back with his handcuffed behind his back and sitting on his back until he passed away. Right. He did not deserve that.
Right.
But you cannot say what a man is going to do from the consequences of someone else's action. George Floyd did what he did. Chauvin and his compadres sat on his back until he passed away.
Right.
Charlie Kirk said a lot of horrible things. I was just glad it wasn't a black person that did it, right? So Charlie Kirk said a bunch of horrible things, and somebody gave it to him. So what I'm saying is, your reason, it's like you wouldn't leave me for going and spending $5 on hobo, but you would leave me if I took our last $5 and went and put it in a penny machine and lost it. You see what I mean? It's a difference, or I cheated on you or something like that. Cheating on another woman is no big deal. For you, that's the end all be all. So what I'm saying is, just because you don't look at it that way, and once again, you're a humanitarian, you feel like people's lives are important. Don't just
I get where other people are with it. I'm saying for me, I ask myself, what you have to ask yourself, what would be the morally religious Christian like thing? And I'm taking my cues from what Jesus would think, what he would do. I don't know where you're from.
So listen, the morally Christian thing that would have been done after looking at George Floyd's police record, I probably would have eliminated him after his 3rd or 4th crime, because that's what Jesus did. See, Jesus told the disciples, "Hey, if you guys don't have a weapon, go sell your shit and go get a weapon, because we not no punks out here." If they were not nice, it wasn't friendly. They weren't nice or anything. So what you're looking at, and once again, I know different people.
But here's the thing: George Floyd, just like Charlie, did not warrant someone taking their life. I'm coming from that standpoint. You're making a moral judgment. You're making a moral judgment about his behavior. I am not. That's the difference.
And that's what And that's what I'm telling you. That's how men judge. We judge on your moral
and I'm seeing
behavior.
and
Somebody who messes with children, hold on, somebody who messes with children is morally corrupt. So we will get rid of them. There's something called like instigation speech, like when you talking shit to somebody and you start a fight. Right. The person who was talking shit is the person who gets the blame for the fight. Even though they don't throw the first punch, they still get the blame for it. Right. Charlie Kirk was instigated. He got what he got. George Floyd, once again, had a pattern of behavior when he should have never been walking again after he robbed the pregnant lady. He should have been gone then. If that starts happening more, HQ, I'm gonna tell you, if things like this start happening more, you start to see people be a lot kinder.
What?
The wild.
Are you advocating people getting broke off on camera?
It doesn't matter where they get broke off as long as it happens. Nothing changes ever at all through history unless somebody dies. That's the only way things change. JFK didn't want to sign the civil rights thing. When he died, the guy who took over after him signed. Abraham Lincoln was flip-flopping about letting slaves go. Once he got one in the back of the head, then nothing changes until somebody kicks the bucket. It's just the way that humanity is.
That's not what we. Okay. Thank you, Black America. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna get off because I'm about to lose signal. But yeah, I understand. Okay. Just breathe. We just look at stuff differently than you do, basically.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Okay, that's what I heard from Black America. Do you disagree? Haas, Nain, 10 Light, hi. Robbins, hi. Frederick, hi. Slip Easy, hi. Okay, I don't know. I don't know. Is that how people feel? They feel like this person, he deserved it. I just can't. That's not Christ-like to me. I just don't. God, what's going on with you guys? How do you even think that way? Hold on. Let's get back. This is the part with what Charlie said about his child being pregnant.
About him. So in that clip, the woman is asking him a hypothetical where he says, if your 10-year-old daughter was great.
Sir roast a lot. Yes, he did.
Great. Okay. Would you force her to keep the child? Is that a fair assessment of the clip?
Right.
Yeah.
And then Kirk says yes.
He said yes, the baby will have the baby, or my girl will have the
okay.
child.
And then you said that we were kind of dishonest with how we did that we clipped him out of context, and then we put our own context, right?
No, I'm not saying you put your own context. You didn't put the entire context.
Okay.
Like you said, you led into it by saying, I think I'm not going to speak. I'm going to recite.
So my thing is, did we hear Charlie? Did we hear the full context of what Charlie said? Charlie said that if his 10-year-old child got raped. Hi, Shannon. If his 10-year-old child got raped, he cares more about the child that she got pregnant by, she was pregnant with, than he does about his daughter. This is what Abba is trying to tell him. This is how we looked at it. You care more about the child than you do your child, your 10-year-old child. You care more about that. And that's what we found repugnant. Okay.
You verbatim, but it was essentially, I think that Kirk has said some disgusting things as well.
Yes.
And
I played that.
He said some disgusting things as well. Those two words, this is what the Black MAGA person, because I don't really know who he is, Stevie. This is what he says. He says as well. So he knows that what Charlie said was repugnant to most people. Okay.
that clip.
Video.
Yeah, so let's just talk about that first clip, because I remember you taking that first clip and being really shocked, I think.
But he's trying to be argumentative, even though he believes the same thing as what Abba's saying. Abba's saying that's disgusting. Yes. He said that Charlie was having a debate on Jubilee, with a young lady. Okay. He was having a debate. So on the debate, Charlie said that he would make his daughter have a baby even if she was raped and if she was 10 years old. That's what Charlie said. I would make my daughter have the baby if she was raped. And Abba is saying that's disgusting. That makes him a low character, moral person to have done that. You would have to go back and see Abba's video, but that he's saying that doesn't make Charlie a good person for saying that. You care more about the baby than you do about your own child, the baby she got pregnant by. Hi, The Good Fight.
Let me just see here.
I need those likes up. I need 10 more likes, guys. Come on, please, and thank you. You came through the door. Please hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Thank you. You came through my door. Please hit the like button.
I did have that in my notes here. Oh, yeah, you said that. You said that was really surprising that you were shocked coming from me, and you called me the king of receipts.
Yeah.
But yes, so that is
real shit, because I rely, but I know when you giving somebody shit, you gonna have.
Okay. So how do you feel I took that clip out of context?
Yeah.
Because
how do we take that clip out of context?
It's trying to paint Kirk as a monster because he's going to force his 10-year-old daughter to have a child.
And I would consider the man who got her pregnant. I would consider him a monster, but then I would consider Charlie on a different level as the similar monster if he forced his child to do that. I would judge personally. I would feel that way. I'm just saying.
Right, but as somebody who's anti-abortion, that's his stance. He will force his daughter to have the child because he feels as though life is precious or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And,
right.
You know, he sees the fetus as a life. So he's like, my daughter will have that baby. That's his take.
Right.
Yeah. But if you let the rest of the video play, I mean, it's subjective. Everybody's going to feel differently watching that. But if you just have that short video.
No, we're not going to feel differently because we all feel a certain way. Some of us feel a certain way about grape. Some of us feel a certain way about AB. Some of us feel a certain way about having a child. Okay. I'm saying to you that because Charlie said this, yeah, you're right, TJ. I feel the same way. You're not protecting your child if you were to say something like this. Okay.
It makes it seem like he's a monster. I don't care. Anti-abortion. She having a baby. You know, it could be for anything because my way or the highway or whatever the case may be, bro. Everybody's not informed on Kirk and his reasonings why. And if I think that you let the video play and gives you his reasonings why, people would understand it. They may not agree with it, but they'll understand it and they'll take a blow away from how they're initially feeling about him being a monster.
Well, they'll see him still as a monster because no matter how much you explain it from a religious standpoint,
that's your opinion.
But that was my whole.
He's right. People are still going to look at him like he's a monster because no monster would want his child to be pregnant by a monster. Okay, and he's saying I'd let my child have a monster's child.
Call from
TJ.
TJ.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
No, Ty, they didn't. Not yet. Hey, Ty. TJ.
This TJ.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You there, HQ?
That's what I said, TJ.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm trying to turn down the TV. So, listen.
Okay.
I HQ, I got a 10-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Ain't no way that on as much as I'm anti-AB,
right?
Ain't no way on any matrix or metrics can I risk my 10-year-old daughter. I can't even see her surviving that.
Right, because she's small.
Delivering. I'm not saying that she couldn't.
Right.
But I'm just saying, even if she was capable, because 10-year-old girls might not even started their cycle yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
But there's no way. There is no way. I understand it. God would just have to. If I'm being punished for that, then that's just something I got to take.
Yes.
Because ain't no way.
I get it.
Ain't no way
Right.
I can put my 10-year-old or 11-year-old in that situation and her world has already been rocked once by being great.
Right. Right.
But you want me to finish destroying it by letting that happen? Yeah, no. I love my daughter way too much to make that risk. And Charlie, and I don't want to make this a black and white thing,
Right.
but white folk, boy, they brain work way different than ours. HQ, the way that they see the world, the way they process stuff.
I
don't
think it's a white and black thing. I think it's a religious and a very non-religious. I believe we put it's in context. It's a context to it. I get that, religiously, it's the doctrine. I get all of that too, because there's plenty of white people.
What Charlie talking about with his daughter, that ain't Christian. That ain't nowhere near it. That's we got Christianity, but then we got all of these subsects. We got evangelical, we got Catholic, we got Lutheran, we got Baptist, we got Jehovah's Witnesses. These are all Christians.
Right.
True Christianity ain't got no club.
Right.
It ain't got no separate club.
Right. Right. Right.
You understand? So it's organized doctrine, and there's no. So yeah, I don't understand how people can make that kind of stuff make sense.
Well, this young man right here is trying to clear up Charlie's stand as though this is a normal thing, that it should be normal. Like if we played a clip, people would fall on his side. I'm going to allow my daughter to be further traumatized. First, I'm going to allow the grape to be there, and then even after the grape, I'm going to allow her to give birth to her perpetrator's child. That's further harming that child who doesn't even understand what happened to her in the first place.
Oh, yes, and
then you want her to continue on, right? And she may or may not even live. She may not even live giving birth to a child, because she is her body is not equipped to handle all of that. I don't think so at that age.
And then the ultimate risk that you run, HQ, is when this little 10-year-old becomes a 30-year-old woman and you allow this to happen, the amount of potential hatred she could have. I don't want my daughter hating me. Now, she's mad at me because I'm a strict father with standards and that's one thing.
Right.
But allowing something to happen to her that was going to profoundly affect, I look like my daughter in 6th grade with a damn baby.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or yeah, okay. I just wanted to tap in and say that, HQ, because this is crazy talk to me.
I know.
And there's no explaining that to me. There's no you can't rationalize that to me.
This young
and
man,
maybe there's something wrong with me.
This young man is going to try, and Abba's going to try to teach him that no, this is not how this is supposed to be. But thank you.
All right, HQ. Go ahead and keep on cooking, lady.
Thank you. So, hello, Marty. There's Marty. There's Benson. Hello, Benson. Tissues. Freak. Hello, George. Okay. Tissue. Yes, I am with Abba on this. I would not further traumatize my child and allow her to have this child, and she's traumatized. She's 10 years old. She may not live. She's too small to have the baby. All kinds of factors. This is what Abba is trying to explain to him, that it may, having a baby, not having an AB, I get it. That might be strict what you say, but there are circumstances in which that should be allowed. And that's the particular thing that Abba is trying to explain to him, but he just doesn't. He's saying people are going to side with Charlie when they find out what he said. No, most people are not siding with Charlie regarding their 10-year-old child having a baby by a perpetrator. Yeah, And that's the reason. What would be the reason that you would allow? Okay, it's muted. Oh, you can. Oh shit! I'm sorry. What would be the reason that would allow you to allow your daughter? I'm sorry. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I'm goofy sometimes. Hold on. Keep going. Sorry.
If you just have that short video, it makes it seem like he's a monster. I don't care. Anti-abortion. She having a baby. You know, it could be for anything because my way or the highway or whatever the case may be, bro. Everybody's not informed on Kirk and his reasonings why. And I think that you let the video play and gives you his reasonings why, people would understand it. They may not agree with it, but they'll understand it and they'll take a blow away from how they're initially feeling about him being a monster.
Well, no, most people haven't in it. Most people see, here's the thing. He's taking the being pregnant more important than my daughter having her life altered because of this act and continuing to have my daughter's life altered because of this act, right? He seems to think it's more important that, see, when you come from the standpoint that the baby, that the child that's developed is more important than a human being, I think your religion is distorted when you believe that. I just think human beings, live human beings are more important than kids that are maybe here.
They'll see him still as a monster because no matter how much you explain it from a religious standpoint,
that's your opinion.
But that was my whole point. But do you remember what the greater point of that whole section was? That section was about the fact that some people view him as a monster, including me. I don't like the guy. I didn't think his politics were good. That's my personal opinion. I think I'm free to say that. And I played clips that to me showcase his stances on things that I just don't agree with and I think are disgusting. Forcing your 10-year-old daughter to have a baby, okay, that after she was great, okay, you could say it's great for religious reasons. You could give whatever justification you want. There's nothing in there that took him out of context. His stance was
because if you having that short snippet, people are not going to know why he's doing it. They're just going to know he's doing it. If he gives justification of why, and he gave very clear reasons of why,
most men on this planet would be ready to take the man who did that to their daughter out, snuff her out. There is not one man, I don't care what you say, stop lying to me, men, stop lying to me. You would be the first person that makes sure your daughter doesn't have more harm, and you would not have this stand as Charlie. Charlie had to die on that hill, literally, but he had to die on that hill for that kind of thinking. You know good and well you wouldn't allow your daughter to be traumatized more and more if something like that happened to your daughter. Hi, Dwayne.
That's going to make some people look at it different. You're putting this, you know what I mean? Like, it's like showing a video of somebody shooting somebody in the head, but just randomly, but you
okay,
I like killed my mom, then it makes sense.
No, because the people who are following this or people who are tuning into this stuff know that Charlie is a political speaker who's incredibly Christian. So
you're making that assumption though, bro. Like you're making that assumption because now since Kirk has died, there are so many people that are just now learning about Kirk.
But it makes sense. But it makes sense that we would think he was religious because he was teaching a doctrine. He was saying specific things that made it seem, and we knew from one or two clips that he was religious.
So many people that didn't know before. It's so many people that didn't know before. You put that narrative out.
Can I ask you?
This is a big reason why so many people don't like Kirk because they.
No, that's why your people on Kirk's side is disingenuous. You're disingenuous because you know you would not allow your child to be more traumatized. This is what we're saying on this side. No, you're being hypocritical because you already know you would not allow, if you were a white MAGA person, you would not allow your child to carry a black child. If she were raped by a black, stop lying. You would care more about that. Stop lying. That's what I'm saying. Just stop lying about it.
They get some of these short reels taken out of context.
But they're not out of context. It's not out of context.
It is.
No, it's not. It's not. Stevie, if someone says, I'm anti-abortion, I'm a Christian, we know why you don't want an abortion to happen.
In that clip you put, he didn't say he was Christian though. He just said, she just gave an example and he said no, she can have a baby. He didn't say he was Christian.
This guy was all over the world, all over the news, and he was constantly making an assumption. No, I'm not making an assumption. Everybody who saw that clip of him getting murdered knew he was a political speaker who's Christian. There's not a person who didn't see that clip, who didn't see the news reports, who didn't know what he was. You're acting like I took an obscure person.
That's not true. That's not true. You can't speak for everybody in the world, dog.
That's not out of context, boss. That's not out of context.
Because I talk to people now that had no idea who the fuck Kirk was. Now they see him on his timeline going.
Yeah, but that's not the only snippet that we saw. We saw other snippets. We saw other things that he said. We seen snippet after snippet after snippet after snippet. So we could gauge, we could fully figure out that he was religious. So when he said he would make his daughter have a child, he was trying to go viral. Of course you're going to go viral if you say that. But no man, I don't care what you say, ain't no man going to allow your child to be further victimized. And Charlie was just cap on that. Y'all just got to take that L. It was what it was. He would never have allowed his child to have no child. He was just lying to the camera for the clicks. That's all. I'm just going to believe that. He was just lying. He was just lying for the clicks. No way he would allow his daughter to have that.
And they don't know who the fuck he is. That's false, bro.
He has the very standard cookie cutter Christian view on it. There's nothing.
Regardless, you're making the assumption that people know, dog, and that's a dangerous game. You got to give them.
That's not an assumption.
He got a do-rag on with a cowboy hat. That's wild. That's fucked up. Excuse my French. That's wild. I'm with you, Tissues.
That's not an assumption, boss. I'm sorry. Anybody who's following this knows he's a Christian political speaker. I'm sorry, but I'm just not buying that. In fact, everyone's been introducing him as such, so we know why he does not like abortion. I don't need to see 5 minutes.
You know, and a lot of people do know. Everybody doesn't know, dog. And you got to be fair and give the reason why. You got to get the justification why. If you just say he's doing this, they go, oh, he's a motherfucker.
So here's my question for the people in the chat. Y'all hit the like button, please, and thank you. Would it have mattered what the reason was that Charlie said that? Would you be one of those people that would say that? Hey, Transputin, hello. Would you have been one of those people that said, oh yeah, I'm just going to make my daughter have that baby? Or did you think Charlie was just capping? He was just being for shock value. How many of y'all would have said, yes, sir, step right up, daughter, you're going to have this baby? How many of y'all would have said, oh, would you been like, look, no, I'm not going to let my daughter be traumatized more. We don't need to know the context of why Charlie said it. We don't need to know. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody feels some type of way about AB until it hits your backyard. When it hits your backyard, that shit hit different. That shit is different when it comes to your backyard. Specifically, comes to your 10-year-old daughter's backyard. That shit hits differently. That's why I'm saying the people who are adamantly against AB, you need to think. You need to think. Under certain circumstances, it should be allowed. Specifically, if your 10-year-old daughter is happening. That's why I don't understand people who say, no abortion, nothing, never. No, until it hits your backyard. Now we're talking about hitting your backyard.
Because he's gonna force a 10-year-old to have a fucking daughter. But if you go let the shit play and he gives the fucking girl the business of why he made her look stupid. To me, I mean,
but that's because that's because you're probably
he didn't make her look stupid. Charlie looked like a opportunist. He looked terrible in that take. Every human being who heard that take was like, "What? No, he didn't just say he gonna let his 10-year-old daughter have a baby. No, we all looked at you crazy, Charlie. That wasn't we looked at you crazy when you said it."
Anti-abortion, am I right?
No, I don't know. I could care less. I respect his stance. I'm not pro, I'm not anti. I respect his stance. I don't agree with it, of course, but I respect it because he's standing on the team.
Okay. But my point still 100% stands. At the end of the day, if you are going to force a 10-year-old to have a baby because you believe abortion is wrong, it's okay for people to say you're a disgusting person. And other people can agree with your stance and say you're cool. My entire point was...
That wasn't my argument. My argument was you took about the context. People can say what they want to say, but okay. About the context, you're manufacturing a narrative.
No, he didn't take him out of context. See? Every time I have a conversation with a Kirk supporter, they say we took it out of context. No, we didn't take him out. We played his clip, and this is what he said out of the clip. He said, I would have to force my 10-year-old daughter to have a baby. Nobody's taking him out of context. That's completely in context. Abba's correct.
Not manufacturing a narrative. The narrative was very clear. He's a Christian man. He's against abortion. Super basic.
You didn't have Christian in that clip, though.
I didn't have to because everyone knows who he is. But
everybody does not know. Look.
Okay, we'll agree to disagree. We'll agree to disagree. But I think that's not taking someone out of context. If someone says I'm a Muslim, if someone says I'm a Muslim and I'm a no. I think you're reaching. I think you're definitely reaching. But it's okay.
How am I reaching?
You're reaching.
How am I reaching?
He's the most viral person right now.
Narrative, bro. He said, I'm going to force the 10-year-old to have a fucking baby. That's it.
No.
That's all everybody going to see. There's no more context. You didn't give a motherfucker the opportunity to explain why.
No. He's the most viral person in the world. People know he's a political commentator. They know he's Christian. I'm not buying that, but we'll agree to disagree. That's not taking someone out of context. If you're not an unknown person, we know where you're standing. We know what you're there for, but we'll agree to disagree. This is another point you made, and this is one I thought was crazy. You played the other clips of Kirk. Okay. You kind of said there's nothing bad about this when he said he wanted Biden to be executed or given the death penalty.
Let me skip to the what is it? The one about the more emotion, something about being emotional too. Let me see. Let me get to that. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It felt like it was a way to minimize what happened to Kurt.
Okay.
People can say whatever they want to say.
Nobody.
I watched you. I follow you, and I was just surprised by the tape.
Okay. I feel like you got a lot of right-wing bias. I feel like you call and
I do.
Yeah.
I can agree with you.
Yeah. In the video, you said that you feel like the left is the emotionally driven side.
What was that you wanted to find out about Ty Pro? Did I get to what part first? Say it again.
You feel like the right is more logical? You said the left is more emotional, so I feel like you think the right is more logical.
Yeah, I'd agree with that take.
So you don't feel like the right engages in a lot of hysteria or a lot of emotionality?
Yeah, they do.
Do you feel?
I think a valid, I guess, label. Mm-hmm. For the left, I mean, with the whole different nuance, there's much more nuances and different ways that the left operates, man. Outside of like racism and
I remember now.
Racism. I feel like the right gets crazy, extremist with racism and transphobia or whatnot, man. But there's just lots of spectrums to perspectives and different ways of looking at life and, mental health type of things that.
I was just thinking about this the other day. People on the right, you don't like, y'all have Islamophobia, transphobia, homophobia, and there's racist. It's 4 things that y'all don't like on y'all side. We don't have that over here on our side. We have some of it, but we don't have it to the certain extent that we would block policy and we would feel some type of way. We don't have that on our side. Homophobia, Islamophobia, transphobia, and racism. We don't have a lot of that. We don't have the bulk of it on our side. If you got all 4 of those things on your side, there's a problem. That's all.
Derived mentally and emotionally from the left, which is propagated mostly on, all I see is on social media, bro. That doesn't appear as much on the right. It's usually like, a nationalist or some white supremacist or, some anti-gay that's out here doing the utmost.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
There's not a lot of conversations as far as, gender dysphoria. That's a mentally emotional type of conversation that, is very.
Well, I heard that the other day. Why is it y'all think us lefties are emotional? We're not emotional. We're not emotional at all. We just have empathy. We just don't try to hide our empathy. We just don't try to put our empathy in the back pocket and put money in front of our empathy. We're not emotional like that at all. Okay? On you all side, on the right side, y'all like crashing out like that emotionally. We don't crash out like that emotionally anyway.
Irrelevant. the whole LGBTQ thing, and you get children involved and all, like it's much more nuanced, much more layered. The right wing is much simple. It's more based on traditions and values, and then you got motherfuckers that are super traditional and super values, and that's when.
Yes, but us people on the left have traditions and values too. That's what you all don't. Nah, you gay. They could be gays. They could be sick. All we want. Here's my thing. You got all four of those tenets on y'all side: homophobia, Islamophobia, transphobia, racism. You got all four of those things on y'all side. That's wild to me. That's crazy.
When it gets hateful.
No, I don't give Democrats a pass. Today, the Democrats are trash. But they can be trash. They can be the dirtiest dirty. They can be the most fucked up group on the planet right now. And they're better than Donald Trump. All day. Better than Donald Trump.
Do you think that traditions and values are logic based?
Why not, Mikhail? They human beings too. That's the whole point. They're human beings. That's not Christ-like. I don't understand how y'all call yourself Christian and y'all hate a group of people like that.
It's a twofold. Some of it is based on religion, but then like you can apply logic to it. You know what I mean? Because it's been a tradition because something has worked for so long, right? So if it's working, we built this logic to know it works this way. We sustained the quality of life for this long, so we know based on our tradition that this thing works. And then when we take take tradition and value.
I'm still trying to figure out why
we have this mess we're in right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'd fundamentally disagree with that. People have done certain things for thousands of years, from human sacrifices to all kinds of really fucked up traditions. And
I'm focusing here in America. I mean, there's no perfect way of doing things, bro. But I think I'm the simpler, the better, man. There's not room for extra bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot more crazy things going on because we've opened up the gates, and we
tissues. that all of those things are coming. We will reveal certain things on this channel. We will reveal certain things on the channel. Y'all got to get the like button up, please. I need 10 more likes, please, and thank you. I need 10 more likes. Y'all being stingy. Y'all came and wiped your feet at my door, and you still didn't give me no like. Ben, you said you wasn't going to give me no like because I ain't no Republican. You changed your mind yet? Y'all give me a like. Give me the likes, please. Get the likes up. Thank you very much.
Scale it back. And I'm not talking about, nationalism, white supremacy, whatever, man. People can do what they want to do. Right. But when you let everybody just follow their feelings and follow their heart and do what they want to do and don't apply any logic, then,
Wait a minute. I'm confused. Why do y'all think we don't follow logic? Why do you people on the right think we don't follow logic? We just don't try to dictate how people live their life because they have a right to want to live their life the way they want to. That's it. That's all. We ain't trying to tell you not to be religious, right? We're not telling you not to serve God, to worship God. We're not telling you to do any of those things. But you're not supposed to or infringe on my right not to do that. Not to do that. Hi, Nicole. And that's what you all don't get. You don't like us doing what we want to do. You want to dictate what we do, how we feel, what God we worship. That's not how this country was founded. This country was founded on us being independent and us having our own mind and worshiping who we want to worship. That's the only thing I don't like about you righties. You want to infringe upon my right not to do religious things. So here we go. We get into the after this.
Do you think faith in religion is logical?
No.
Right, but that's what a lot of the right is driven by, no? And to be honest with you, I don't think everything about religion is necessarily logical. There's plenty of laws and rules in there that are, you know, that are good principles to have in everyday life. But I just reject this notion.
I'm not religious.
Hit the like button. Hit the like button. I need 10 more likes. 10 more likes, please, and thank you. Hit the like button.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. But you made the assertion that you feel like the left is more emotional. But I would argue that if you are, you know, very religious, a lot of that is based in emotion. It's based in faith. It's based in ideas.
Based in faith and ideas. Religion is emotional by default. It's how you feel. It's faith. Okay? It's faith-based. That's not a reality. He's trying to say us lefties are emotional, but you righties are all about emotion. That's all y'all are, is emotional. About the Bible, about what you think Christ wanted, what you think Christ would have dictated. You're all about being emotional. How the country was founded is incorrect. You still have to be honest about it. How is the country not founded on religion, Christian religion? How is that not true?
This idea that lefties are all emotional, but righties are more lefties are more emotional and righties are more logical. It's just like,
that's right, Chelsea. That's my primary reason why I'm not one of the reasons why I'm not a Republican is because you're trying to force your religion on me when I don't want. Well, it wasn't completely. The people were religious. The people were Christian, but they didn't. I'm just saying. They didn't make the country. They didn't base it. I'm saying they were religious. The people that founded the country were religious. Most were religious. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it was founded on religion, and it's all based on religion. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the people who put it together were religious, were primary religious. Judeo-Christian something or another.
Like, I think it's just I think it's a very
phrasing it that way is making it much more extreme than what
you ignorant tissue
was trying to convey. Just think that the label of emotional is more along the lines of the left than the right. Right?
No.
I'm not out here saying every lefty.
It's the right is more emotional. Y'all homophobes, Islamophobes, transphobe, race. That's all emotion. How you feel about somebody. How you feel, all of that is based on feeling. The left don't have those feelings, aren't like that. They have some feelings, but not a lot. Not like that though. Not like y'all. Not radical like y'all on the right.
I understand the stigma or whatnot. I'm not.
Yeah, I personally think the problem is that you're demonizing the idea of emotionality, and especially in the way that the left might express it. But I think being emotional in healthy doses is very, very good. And much of the way that the right expresses it, if done well, can also be very, very good. But this idea, you almost made it like a critique that the left is more emotional. Right. But in my head, I'm like, well, just today, right? Or yesterday, during the memorial, I watched Charlie Kirk's wife give a speech. It was hyper emotional. It was very faith-based. There wasn't necessarily logic to it all the time, but it was still very beautiful. It was very moving. Right. And that sense of emotionality is something that I appreciate. I just think sometimes
I would too, but I think problems derive from the right and the
you'd have to call yo now. You'd have to call. I would love to find out why you think I'm anti-American. I would love to know, because I want to have a debate with somebody who tells me I'm anti-American. And I'll show you that I'm even more Christian-like, more God-like, more American than you are. Yo now, more than you are. Lefties are girly. Michael, hello, Michael. Hi. Rainbow Kid, hello. Y'all coming in saying some goofy shit.
Left for, I mean, when the right does, I'm only focused on the bad things. That's what we focus on, right? If it's good, who cares?
I'm just anti-truth. You show me where I said a lie. I would love it. Call me up and tell me where I said a lie at. Because y'all always want to say we lefties are liars, but you have no proof. You never come up with any proof. That's all I'm saying. Prove what you're saying. Don't just say it. Prove it. The phone lines are open if you want to call up and say I'm anti-American or I'm anti-truth. Please call up. I would love to figure out what you all mean when you say us lefties are lying. I would love to. I would love it.
Everything's working, but the bad. There's an argument to be made that when bad shit goes awry, it's because people's emotional connection or just mentally unstableness to how.
And you righties have that. I thought you were saying I am center, but I'm left center. Okay, but this is the argument between the righties and this is the argument between the righties who are denigrating the lefties. So I'm taking a lefty stance.
They align. All I'm
sure,
saying,
I would agree with that.
All I'm saying with the left, there's more opportunity for error because of so many different ways you can go about this, man. Like just quantitatively, right? There's much more room. There's much more margin for error emotionally with the left because of everything that the left has going on.
Yeah.
The right is simple.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I disagree with that characterization, but I understand what you're getting at. But that's fine. I think that's okay.
There's no error.
I think this is the last point that I really want.
I am one of the most unbiased people. I will take the right and I will listen to your argument. You make a cohesive argument. I will listen to it. You're on the left. Mo, come on now. You gotta hit the phone line and prove that you're talking about left. The right is homophobic. The right is transphobic. The right is Islamophobic, homophobic, transphobic, and they got racism. How is that godlike, and how are you better than me if you have all of that stuff going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Wanted to bring up.
No, I'm in the middle.
Let's see here. So I just want to make sure I kind of get to everything just so that we.
No, we finna go back to starvation in America. This is the right here. This is the part where I just didn't understand what was going on. Here we go. I didn't understand Black MAGA's stance on that.
This is another point you made, and this is the one I thought was crazy. You played the other clips of Kirk. You kind of said there's nothing bad about this when he said he wanted Biden to be executed or given the death penalty. You don't think that people should hate somebody like that, or some people might hate somebody for that?
Yeah, we made up a whole lot of stuff, but you ain't hit that link though. You ain't hit no link though. Y'all ain't hit no link and argue the facts.
Reason for saying violent things like that?
Yeah. That's their opinion.
Another point that you made, I played a second clip, and this is probably one of the wilder clips. A young man goes up to Charlie Kirk during that debate, and he says to him, "Hey, what do you think about school lunches for kids?" And Charlie laughs him. He says, "There's no starvation in America. We have an obesity problem.
Triple.
Nobody here is going without food." And then you agree.
And this is what Charlie said. This is Charlie's take. Let's see y'all defend this. Defend this take by Charlie.
Agreed with him. You said there's no starvation in America. Go get food stamps. You can get food at churches. There's no reason to starve. Do you remember that?
Yeah, there's no reason to starve in America. It's like 1% of households have like technically a hunger issue, bro, but people are not starving to death.
Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, please, and thank you. I need 10 more likes, please. Y'all came into my door, wiped your feet on my rug, and then you didn't hit the like button. What's going on? Hit the like button, please, and thank you. Why should we pay you to tell you a truth that you won't even listen to and call us some? No, I'm just mentioning what's on your side, motivation. You don't like y'all don't like trans people, so you're transphobic. You don't like gay people, so you're homophobic. You don't like immigrants, so you're Islamophobic. And there's racist people on your side. What do you mean? I'm not calling you no names. That's what y'all say y'all don't like. How am I calling you names if you say you don't like them 4 things? Don't be disingenuous. Don't be disingenuous. You don't like none of those things. Don't lie. You don't like none of those things. How am I making that up?
Death in America, bro. Motherfuckers are fat as hell.
Okay.
That's a fact.
And see, this is the problem I have with like people who are pro-life, and not you specifically, but people like Charlie Kirk. They're so obsessed with keeping fetuses alive. They pretend it's like this big virtue. And then when a child is born, they're like, fuck you, your parents take care of you. It's actually probably one of the most hypocritical. And this is why I think Charlie Kirk is probably a shitty person to me, is that he spent all this time being anti-abortion. But when it comes to every government initiative that's meant to protect kids and keep them good, he was always against it. And
Right. We stop right there. He said he was so pro-life. Charlie was so pro-life. Okay. That every initiative that helped children out, he was against it. Why is that? Why is that?
To me, it's like, what's the fucking point of keeping this fetus alive if when it comes out, you're like, yo, fuck you, kid. And that's what he did. He said that guy was...
He said, fuck you, kid?
No, he didn't, but he might as well have when he's constantly championing everything that's anti-public sector, or sorry, government-involved taking care of kids. Like even you saying there's no starvation is like so disingenuous. If you just Google,
you got to prove the garbage that come out of your mouth, Rock. You got to prove the garbage. I believe in God more than you. I believe in God more than you. Because this is not what this behavior is not Christ-like. Your side don't like trans people, gay people, immigrants, and there's racism. How you God-like? How you more God-like than me? You need to listen to what you're saying. It don't even make no sense. I don't believe in God, but you don't believe in nobody, and you don't like nobody, and then it's un-Christ-like all day. What the hell are you talking about?
There's like so many kids today here in America. You could look it up, the statistics that have malnutrition, that have food scarcity, that have all these problems. It stunts their growth. It fucks them up in terms of their academic success. And for you guys to sit there,
y'all listen to the video because y'all listening to yourselves
and think that food.
Y'all listen to the video because y'all listening to yourselves. Some of it don't even make no sense. Hold on. I'm trying to get to the phone. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hello?
Call from
King Ty.
Ty.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello, Ty?
Hello, HQ. Good evening.
Good evening. No, I'm just asking for you to prove what you're saying. You're saying I'm not Christ-like. You're saying I'm a communist. Come up here and tell me. Tell me how I am. I don't understand.
They wilding in the chat, HQ. I think
it's okay.
They bots.
Okay.
They bots. They not humans. They just bots.
Oh, okay.
But I did want to speak on this free lunch thing.
Okay. Wait a minute. We ain't even done with it yet.
No, because they already in the chat talking about the parents to take care of the kids and food stamps. And they gonna get into it, but I want to say this. I just want to ask.
Say what you got to say, so I can get back.
I'm gonna get real quick with it. Yeah. So, if children should not have free lunch provided by the school, and I'm posing this to the chat, who agree on that? Should they also not get free school books provided by the school? Should they also not have school buses picking up children? That's also provided by the school. Should the gym equipment not be provided by the school? Should the children bring their own tissue and paper? Because the parents should be taking care of all of these things, right? So should the kids have to come to school with tissue, paper towel, a basketball, a football, their own books? Should the parents have to order the books to the curriculum like they're in college?
Right.
Because the parents should be the ones making sure they have lunch. You see how it just
goes on and on. I get it.
It just does. And they talk about food stamps and the food pantry. Why not just have the food at the school for the children? Why is that so wrong? Right. And if you cared about abortion so much, you should really care about kids, huh? So then you should be okay with them being able to eat at school, right?
Yeah.
Because you definitely don't want them deleted. So if that parent can't take care of a child,
right,
but they can't have an abortion, so they gotta have that child,
right?
Why not at least make sure that child can eat.
See, you gotta pick your struggle. You either don't have an explicit X in saying they can't have an abortion, and or they have a child and they're not able to take care of the child. You can't have it both ways. She can't have an abortion, but then she's too poor to have to take care of the child. So when she had a child, she got to starve with the child. But then you care about the child in the womb, but you don't care about the child outside of the womb. See how that's not God-like or Christ-like?
Exactly. Jesus turned water into wine and used a piece of bread to feed a village. You can't feed the children at school? Wouldn't Jesus want the kids to eat at school? Right. I love you, HQ. I'll probably call in a little later.
Thank you. Hey, Grumpy, hit the link. You talking all that foo-foo la-la in the chat. Hit the link. Jonathan, hit the link. If you talking that foo-foo la-la in the chat. Because I'm saying, no, that's not the only two options. But you can't have it both. You can't have it. You can't denigrate me for having it and then I'm too poor. But then denigrate me if I want to have an abortion. You pick a struggle. Because it's gonna be one or the other. Okay. Let me finish this lunch argument with Abba. Let Abba finish his lunch argument. Hold on. Don't call me because I ain't answering the phone till we get done with this argument.
Food lunches for kids is a crazy idea, and parents should take care of them. Some parents are dog shit. Some parents don't take care of their kids. And so that's why these school lunches happen, so that kids who go to school get a meal. But people like Charlie Kirk, and then you did the same thing, are like, oh, the parents take care of it. That's fucking stupid. And I'm like, do you guys even Google this stuff? Do you guys even look into it? But you speak confidently against this stuff that's hurting hundreds and thousands of kids. And I'm like, I don't get it.
Don't call me.
I'll ask you a question.
Wait.
Which one is higher, the amount of abortions in America or the amount of starving children in America?
Wait.
The amount of starving kids in America.
Oh, that's cap.
That's cap? Did you Google it? Did you Google it?
I don't need to Google it.
You don't need facts. But you know what? Facts don't care about how you feel about it. I need you to Google it.
I need you to Google it. You see what he's saying? I don't need facts. I don't need to Google. If you're going to make a stand, make a stand. Don't come to the argument with your feelings. He was just talking about the Democrats having all their feelings hurt. And when Abbott tells him to go look it up, we don't want to hear about your feelings. I don't need to look it up. I know what I feel. See, that's what the problem is with the right. You need to have the facts in front of you. Don't spout talking points. I hate people who come with talking points. If you got something to say it on the link. If you got something to say, say it with your full chest. Don't be saying it in the chat. Google, I don't care whether you Google, Chat GPT. Don't talk when you don't know what you're talking about. Abba is telling you, look this stuff up. Google the facts. He's saying, oh, it's so many more babies that get aborted as opposed to people on this planet that are starving. I don't care about the things that have been the ABs. I don't care about that. I care about the people that are on this planet right now. This is what we're caring about, the people that are on the planet right now. I'm not worried about no fictitious children that may or may not make it further on this planet in somebody's womb. I'm not worried about that. Cite your sources, come up here and have a reasonable argument. But don't sit in the chat like you don't know how to have an argument because you're arguing with me and you act like you got facts. I'm not saying I got facts. What I am saying is I got that smoke for you today.
Okay.
Go Google.
Somebody Google it in the chat.
Okay.
But I'm not you. Let me figure out the best way to articulate this, because you have this anger towards Kirk and me and whomever else because we don't support government, not even support government assistance. We're saying the parents should do it, but in the reality of the problem, bro, there's so many different ways that people can eat outside of their parents. There's food stamps.
Yes, Abba coming with the facts. That's the whole point. He coming with the facts. This Stevie don't have no facts.
Churches, charities, bro. Like, there's no reason for somebody to starve.
So do you want a 7-year-old or 8-year-old to go to get food stamps or go to church and get food?
Their parents should go.
What if the parent doesn't want to go? What if their parent doesn't want to go?
You saw in the video I said it, bro. I'll be jealous when I see the amount of money these people have on food stamps, bro. They be running these EBT.
Are you crazy? Are you crazy? What do you mean you worried about these people getting food stamp money? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? What? I be jealous of these people who getting these food stamps, all this free food stamp. That's why we got this big, beautiful bill dropped on our ass from jump. It's because people like you who think bum Keisha don't deserve to have food stamps. Oh, they eating off of me. They taking my taxpayer dollars. Not even knowing that taking away the food stamps and school lunches is going to burn up the elderly, the handicapped, and the disabled. Just wild.
She's up $400, $500, $600, bro. Like there's no excuse for somebody to be to be hungry, unless they got like they're picky, they're bougie about what the fuck they want to put in their body, dog. But beggars can't be choosers, bro. Like you can't have no filet mignon when you can't afford it, dog.
Okay,
we live in a capitalistic country, dog.
Bum Keisha eating filet mignon.
Let's take 2 steps back. All right. Let's take 2 steps back. Do you agree with there's a lot of bad parents?
Exactly, Nicole.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Do you know that there's a lot? Hold up. Do you agree that there's a lot of parents who neglect those children?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So do you think that those kids should suffer because they have bad parents?
No.
Okay.
But bad shit happens.
Man, how do I put you up there?
So wait, you're just gonna let kids suffer when the?
No, I'm not gonna let them, bro, because there's other avenues. Like if they're going to school, this is a hypothetical.
Well, no, hold on. What did you say? If they're going to school, what? If they're going to school, they can get a free lunch there?
Hold on.
I'm assuming that teachers are aware they can see someone losing weight.
But that's what the program's for, Stevie. That's what I'm saying. The program is meant to give kids lunches at school.
Wait till we get done with this.
I'm talking about like teachers making calls to get, the correct parties involved to address a child, to find a potential food for them so they can take advantage of the surplus of food that is available for people in these situations. Like the homeless don't go hungry, bro. They can go get a meal if they want to get a meal.
The homeless don't go. The man done solved the homeless and hunger problem in the United States. Lord have mercy. We all can go home and sleep. Hey, Aaron.
Hey, how's it going?
What argument do you got? Or what do you want to comment on?
I kind of left off where you were saying about you can't denigrate a person for having a child. And then the point I was making was you can absolutely criticize a person for making a poor decision of having children when they're not fiscally prepared to care for them. And then you can't turn and then you can't in the face of pregnancy turn to AB to delete the issue. No, the problem is when the child was conceived without a plan for the child's care for the next 18 to 24 years of that child's life.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
You're saying don't have sex.
I'm saying do what you need to do to avoid conceiving a child unless you're prepared to take care of that child and give that child a proper upbringing.
But see, I said that I wanted to have an abortion, and you told me I couldn't.
Yeah, well, no, because look, the poor decision was made at conception. Everything else after that.
Why can't I have an AB then? Then we wouldn't even be having a discussion. Why can't I have the AB?
No, we wouldn't be having the discussion if you didn't conceive the child. AB is not a problem. It's a solution to a problem that should never have existed in the first place. Especially if you call yourself a Christian, then the point of conception is when a soul is created. It's when the two DNAs get together and a trajectory is set for a human being to come forth into this world. The incubation process starts on that. So how can you terminate that to eliminate the fallout of a bad decision? How about make a good decision?
Because I have that choice.
You have that choice. How selfish does that sound? Because you have that choice is reason enough to exercise. Wait. You have that choice. Is reason enough to exercise bad decisions and then cause greater now let's face it. The process of AB is traumatizing to the female reproductive system. Not only that, does it terminates a life.
Yes, you think it's a life. I don't think it's a life.
So what is a life? What is a human life?
If the child has sentience, which is 24 weeks.
When okay, it's 24 weeks of sentience. What does a child need to have sentience?
It needs to stay. It needs to have sustenance. Jeez, I can't say that word. It needs to be it needs to have sustenance from its mother, a host from me. It needs to have it needs to get sustenance from me in order to really to reach sentience.
And to, and to reach sentience, right? And to have that, what do you need? Do you need a heartbeat? Do you need two sets of DNA?
To be considered sentient, yes.
Right. So there you go. Conception.
So you need a heartbeat. You need a heartbeat. You need an ability to experience pain and sensory at that particular time. You can't do that at 1 week. You can't do that.
You need a central nervous system
at 24 weeks. It would be
considered a human to be considered a human life.
That's the medical, I guess, where you meet, where we can tell that there is life in the womb, or it will be where a person can be aware of pain and
a functioning central nervous system is an indicator of life in a womb. You turn a sperm cell loose into a womb, that's not an indicator of life in the womb. When the sperm cell is very much alive.
I'm saying for me,
that would be a yes or no question.
I don't believe it's life until it's conscious of pain and that kind of thing, which is 24 weeks. I'm going by the medical terminology of when sentience occurs. Sentience to me doesn't occur in 2 weeks. So therefore I don't consider it a life.
Okay, you don't consider it a life. I'll consider it a life. Once
right. So why is it that? So here's my question. Why is it that your view that it is life be imposed on my view that it's not life?
Well, let's agree to disagree. Okay, let's move on to the trauma that is inflicted upon your body, and let's just talk about trajectory. If it's not a life, a trajectory towards it being a life is set. So you're effectively terminating something that has been determined to take place in the future by your decisions.
That's true, but the argument
if a sperm cell meets an egg, whether you consider it a life or not, if you leave the universe up to its own devices, is there going to be a human at some point?
Depending on many factors, yes.
Right. Notwithstanding unforeseen
but we're not. But
circumstances
see, that's the thing. But we're not arguing A/B. Me and you have different viewpoints. I believe in such sentence at 6 weeks. You don't. You believe in conception. Okay, fine. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about you'd rather me have the child and I be poor, continuously be poor, and not get any help outside of the womb, but you want to force me to have the child. That's the argument.
When did I say that?
No, I'm saying that's the argument that Abba and Stevie is having, not you and me. I'm saying that's
they're both making silly arguments.
Right. So I'm saying the person he's saying that Charlie Kirk said. Abba's saying that Charlie Kirk argued against all these programs to help poor people, but you had a fit when the poor person wanted to have the abortion. So you forced the poor person to have the abortion, but now I can't afford to take care of the kid. But now you want to have a moral argument, or you want to be morally sound. You want to stand on the moral hill and say you shouldn't have got pregnant. We ain't talking about me getting pregnant. We're talking about we're past that. We're past me feeling guilty. I don't feel guilty. I'm saying I don't feel. I'm taking the viewpoint of the woman. I don't feel guilty, but I'm out here poor with kids when I didn't want to have kids. You forced me to have kids because you banned all abortion across the land, so I had to have the kid. Now I got the kid and I'm poor, so now you don't want to help me feed the kid. You don't want to help me get no food stamp. You don't want to help me feed them in school. You don't want to help me do nothing.
I have one question. Mm-hmm. If you didn't want to have the kid, why put yourself in a position to have the kid?
We passed that. That's what I'm saying.
No. How can you move past it?
That. We want to put me on that guilty heel.
No, it's not.
Feel guilty. I don't feel guilty. Stop saying
it's not about guilt. Can you answer the question, HQ? See this. So this is why a lot of times the left will be being accused of being emotional, because you can't answer a question and you're talking about. I'm not trying to.
You're trying to put me on a moral hill, and I keep telling you
I'm not. You HQ. You cannot dictate my intentions. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to gain clarity.
So why do you keep asking me why did I get pregnant?
I'm about to tell you, HQ. I'm trying to gain clarity in the conversation so that we can understand what each other's saying. Okay. What I'm saying is, you're saying that if you just said, if I don't want to have a child, you should be able to abort it. My question is, if you don't want to have a child, why put yourself in a position to have one in the first place?
Because I wanted to have sex and I didn't use condoms.
Okay. Why would you? So is this a good decision?
Of course not. I'm saying.
Okay. Now wait. Why should I be held accountable or responsible for your poor decisions?
You would not be helping me make the poor decision if you would have allowed us to have legal abortion. You wouldn't have had nothing to do with it. But now that you forced me to have the baby because I can't have the abortion, now you are obligated to help me.
So you're willing to put your body through that amount of trauma for poor decision making? Knock yourself out.
I'm just saying, I'm giving you the argument that I'm giving you the extreme argument.
Okay, and there's the extreme response. If you want to make the poor decision of putting your body right through that amount of trauma, then you are not adept at making sound decisions. And people who are should steer clear of you.
We passed that, Aaron. That's what I'm saying. We already passed that. We already know that I ain't made a sound decision. We already know that I'm reckless with my body. We already know all of that. So we passed that. So now we got the baby, and we got the baby at the school. Can't get no food. I can't afford the child.
See how you're forcing the argument into a position where a baby exists. What I'm saying is, if AB is the only option, then so be it. But that's your body. But to bring a child into this world, then to force me to have to help you care for the, what do I have to do with that? You made two poor decisions, and now I'm on the hook for helping you. You're out of your mind.
Hold on. Let me answer the phone. Hold on.
Are you saying on the hook for free lunch?
Hold on.
Okay. My bad.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Add to the stay. Hold on. Because I keep not answering the phone. Hello? Can you guys hear him? The person. Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Hello?
Yes, I wanted to comment on the gentleman that's speaking.
Aaron? Oh, okay. Aaron, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
I think that he's talking out of both sides of his mouth, because why should all of the choices be placed upon the woman?
Oh no, the man should absolutely. If a man, I never insinuated that, but a man has no authority.
And he seems what the.
Hold on, caller.
I'm answering your question.
Okay.
So what you just said, I never said.
What the Republicans.
Hold on. He never said that. He can't answer you, so you can't give him a question because you can't hear him.
She got to hit the link.
I'm speaking to you.
Okay. Let her speak, Aaron, and then when she gets off, you can answer her question. Okay. Because
Okay.
you can't hear each other.
I can hear her. She can't hear me.
Yeah, she can't hear
I
you.
was
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. All right,
I
go
was
ahead, caller.
I was saying that I think that it's unfair because what Republicans seem to do is they always want to put the pressure onto the woman. The man, just go on about your business, keep having babies. The men leave the women, not in all cases, but the men leave the women. Nobody puts pressure on the man. All the pressure is put on the woman. A woman who is making the decision to have an abortion is not making the decision on a Saturday and then on a Sunday she's going to have the abortion. It's a long thought out process. And another thing he seems to forget is he's talking about, well, what an abortion does to a woman's body. Has he ever considered what pregnancy does to a woman's body? How much a woman's body changes since she's carrying another life? Sometimes maybe 2 lives. She's carrying twins or triplets.
Okay.
That's a big sacrifice.
Okay. Is that your point? Because you can't hear him unless you hang up. Okay. Or you can't hear him unless you hang up.
Well, that's my feelings on the issue.
Okay. I think
he seems to be making blatant comments.
Okay.
And I have one more comment.
Okay.
The guy with the mega guy with the cowboy hat on, I mean, he's talking out of his ass, basically. Excuse my language, but talking about gays and transgender people. It's not. My feeling is the reason why they are so focused on that community is because they are like that community, and they feel that they can't be themselves. There's a reason why every single time they have a Republican national convention, that Grindr, we all know what Grindr is, why Grindr blows up. The same thing with Charlie Kirk's memorial service in Arizona. Grindr crashed because that many Republican men were on there. But these are the same Republican men who are so against gays and transgender. Look at Lindsey Graham. Who doesn't know that he's gay? But will he ever say that he's gay? No.
Okay.
It's hypocrisy.
Thank you, caller. Thank you. So Aaron can answer you. You have to hang up for Aaron to answer you, okay?
Okay, thank you for listening to me.
Then you can hear him. Thank you for calling. Thank you.
So this is going to be difficult to respond to because she essentially said something that I never said. Okay. I never said that the man is off the hook. It's just the conversation didn't address the man's side of things, right? So absolutely, when a child is born with no plan or no desire for the child to be born, it takes 2 to tango. Right. And a man is absolutely in that position. I just never inserted him in the conversation because a man has no authority on whether or not a woman has an abortion because it's her body, her choice at that point. But that's why I was trying to take the conversation back to before the point of conception, because that's the only time a man can exert any authority over the circumstances. That's the only time I can hold a man accountable for his actions are before the point of conception. But when you tell me we're past that, yes, it's all going to be up to the woman at that point because it's her body, her choice.
Right.
So so to say that is completely disingenuous, and I never said that.
Okay.
Right? Now, as far as the next point that she tried to make, where she's saying that am I aware of the toll pregnancy takes on a woman's body? Yes, I am. I have children. Right. I've watched my wife go through a full term of pregnancy and give me a beautiful daughter who's now 8. Okay, but that still does not take away from the fact that there is a decision made that if the effects it has on your body are detrimental either way, then it's a poor decision to put yourself in that circumstance if you're not prepared and willing to deal with those effects. One effect can be worse than the other, but you can't sit here and say, oh, well, I'm going to play with knives and I'm going to cut my finger off instead of cutting my arm off. Just don't play with knives. Don't cut yourself unless that's something that you're willing to get into.
Right.
So what
Right.
if
Hold
the condom breaks or she forgets her birth control?
If you forget your birth control, you come on. You forget your birth control. You really think that's going to fly?
people out here. We
Now,
got
as far as a rupturing or a failing contraceptive, I categorize that in with things like grape, things like a planned pregnancy where the life of the child or mother is there's a new discovery that their life and well-being is going to be threatened. These are unforeseen circumstances that are out of your control. To me, that's what I think AB is for. I'm not saying get rid of AB altogether. I'm saying use the medical procedure to solve for problems that are unforeseen or not a result for decision making.
So
However,
you
it
want to
is just
put
clear,
us on the
casual,
moral,
poor decision. What are you saying?
you want to put us on the moral heel.
No, I don't want to put you on a moral hill.
I get not using AB as a contraceptive for
Right.
sure.
Right.
That's
But
all I'm saying.
yeah, I can agree with you on that.
I do
But
too.
at a certain point,
Then we're fine.
it's too late for a plan B, and poor people have sex. Poor people have kids that they can't take care of.
Right.
So I don't know if you was arguing against it. It sounded like you was. You don't agree with children having free lunch at schools?
No, I don't think it should be necessary.
But what about kids that can't eat unless like that depend on that?
Again, what would lead a kid to depending on that? That's like saying what would lead to the AB piece, right? Unforeseen circumstances that there are such things as catastrophes.
But you know that people in America
Poor.
are poor, a majority,
I
Right.
know that.
They're
and they
working
having
poor.
children
There's
because
working
they
poor who
they
can't
got
afford food.
we got like yes in a utopic world nobody has a kid until they have 100,000 in the bank.
No,
Nobody has
let's
sex.
not let's
That's that, but that's the type of ideology that belongs there. Oh, you shouldn't be having sex if you can't.
type pro. Let's not go hyperbolic. It's me.
I got you. I got you.
We don't need to do that.
He can get the nuance. So
Right.
what I'm saying is, if just for example, if the president said I'm making all AB illegal,
I would
okay,
disagree with that.
that means nobody. But I'm saying a hypothetical. He made it all AB illegal. Now people are forced to have children, regardless. They messed up. They had sex. Blah blah blah. Now we got working poor people who can't afford to feed kids. They can't afford to do X, Y, and Z. But I gotta have them because you made it illegal. So what is wrong with food in the schools? What is
Well,
wrong?
you're forcing me to approve of a problem to a solution that shouldn't be a solution to a problem that shouldn't exist to begin with, right? If you're forcing AB to come off the table entirely and absolutely, then yes, right. You're gonna have situations where you're gonna need to solve these problems,
Mhm.
but you're taking out a whole lot of nuance that can prevent a lot of those problems from happening. Where the only thing left on the table is accountability for good decision making. But if you're going to lump everything into one bucket and take it out the door, then this is a clear definition of throwing the baby out with the bathwater, pun intended.
But a lot of times, children who need public school lunch don't always need that school lunch.
There we
Let's
go with
say
the absolutes again. That's the
so.
point. That's the exact point that I'm saying. Don't always.
But
What
it
she
should be
just said was
So
provided though.
always.
But it should
so
be
so
provided.
my
If
thing is having the option because like people are alluding to food pantries, food stamps,
mhm.
and Stevie Knight is gonna go on to say some really dumb stuff about the teacher can see that a child is hungry and they can get resources. It's
Right.
just like having school books and gym supplies. Have the lunch there so that if they are having those problems at home, that they can not have to be shamed to just go in the school lunch line. Because some years the parents might have it. Some years, hey, we need resources,
Right.
and it shouldn't have to change for the children. It should just be the standard. I don't see, out of all the things that we pay for in this country, I don't see why just making sure we have a standard, because we have such a problem with poverty. Why
Mm-hmm.
not just make it a standard across the board? Hey, public
So
schools have free lunch.
Right.
So what you just did was, again, we're throwing a baby out the bathwater. When you start talking about making it a standard, where something that should exist to take care of unforeseen circumstances and using that as a solution to cover bad decisions is the problem
Wait
that
a
I'm
minute,
talking.
you
That
keep
wait a
trying to
minute.
drag us.
How can he? It's,
You
are we
keep
going to
trying
have
to
this
drag us to that
conversation?
moral heel again. You keep trying to drag us to that moral heel again. And I keep telling you, I don't care about that moral heel. You keep saying bad decision. We're past that bad decision. We're at the school and the kid is hungry. And I
And
don't make enough money.
the point that I'm making is, yes, you should always have a break glass in case of emergency, but it should be in case of emergency. And how you define what an emergency is takes you back to the moral health portion of the conversation, is what I'm saying. It's that simple. I'm not disagreeing with what Ty Pro is outlining, because he's outlining things that are specifically emergency break circumstances only. But to
So
sit
But
why
here
not?
and
So why not just have? So why
but
not just have?
yeah, it's
Why
dope.
not just have serious? Why not just have free food in the school? Period. For whether it could be afforded or not, for the people that can't afford it and for the people who want it. Why not just have free lunch in the schools? That's it. That's all. Regardless of whether they can eat it, they can't.
you mean across the board have standardized free lunches
Yeah.
across?
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
You don't see the problem with across all schools.
I
We can
mean,
afford it.
that that
We gave billionaires. We gave billionaires tax breaks. We can afford to feed our
Okay,
kids.
all right. Do people get food stamps?
so
Not all of us.
I give
Right.
a
Not all
little.
people get free food, but
Hold on,
people
Ty.
people get food stamps, correct?
Yes, and some
All
of
right.
us
How come
make
we
too
can't
much
just
money
give
for
free
food
food to
stamps.
people across the board because people need to eat?
So we get just because we wait a minute, hold on. I know you're not making a moral argument that if I don't work, I can't eat. I hope
No,
you're not
no,
making that
no.
moral argument.
Why can't you answer a question? I asked a question, HQ.
Yes.
Why can't we have food for everyone? If certain people are getting free food because they need it, then why can't we have free food across the board?
Why can't that's what I'm advocating. I'm advocating free food in the
Free food
schools.
for everyone, then I'm all about
In the
that.
schools.
If that's where you want to go, free food for everyone, let's do it.
Free food in the schools
So
No,
for
I'm
the
yeah,
talking about for people.
when
I'm not talking about for people. I'm talking about for school, for children who may or may not be able to feed. These are people who can't feed themselves. They can't go out and get a job and feed themselves. I'm talking about people who can't feed themselves. Children can't feed
you
themselves.
And then they
typically
go home and eat what?
the people who, the kids that need food stamps, their parents are on. I mean, the kids that need free lunch, their parents have food stamps and they're
Exactly.
rationing.
Now you see the direction I'm going.
So they're rational. So that doesn't mean that they don't always have enough. They don't Food stamps don't always last the
No,
whole
no, no.
month.
I understand that. But
So
go back to what you're saying.
so that last week, that kid might not have them last 2 weeks of the month. That kid might not be able to eat at school, but he gonna eat dinner when he get home. But he's not gonna be able to eat all day at school, and everybody else is eating. Typically, the schools have free lunch line and they have paid lunch as well. Especially when you're in high school, they have paid lunch and free lunch. You have to sign up for school free lunch, so
Right.
it doesn't. It's not like
There's poverty. There's
people
poverty
are just
standards.
abusing. Kids are gonna abuse free lunch way less than people are abusing food stamps. So it's
Right.
not even it's not a waste. It's just covering all the dynamics. We got 1,000 kids at this school. 200 or 100 or 50 of these kids, even if 20 kids might have to eat this lunch and might not get another meal because of whatever. Maybe they mama lost a leg, or it's just covering all bases for the
See,
children,
you see what he's
especially if
doing,
you
HQ?
care
You see what he's
what
doing when he says
what I'm
mother
doing.
loses a leg?
I'm
Again,
just
these
throwing a.
these are things I'm not arguing over.
I'm just saying cover all grounds and
I'm just
allow it to
saying,
be
yeah,
Right.
allow
for
the
all
just allow
kids.
for that to. I'm saying this is my argument. My argument is this: we give money, we give tax breaks to the rich. We have a budget at the Pentagon that can be cut in half. We have all this money we give away overseas, and you telling me that that we're gonna have an argument about school lunches? We have
No,
the school.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. My argument personally is not about school lunches. When I first came up here, what was my initial argument?
We were talking about AB.
Right.
Having a
Right.
child.
About this. Right. So this is what happens when you force the conversation to move in a direction you want it to move into, to make points that you want to make. This was never my argument, first of all.
This was
Second
the
of all,
argument that this is the argument that Abba and Stevie were making. I had to pull you back to that argument. You got me into the AB argument. I was talking about the
when I came onto the panel, I said I had an issue with something that you said. So I don't have an argument with, like I told you, both of these guys are not making a whole lot of sense.
Wait, let me finish the argument. It's almost.
And I can't debate with them because they're not here. I'm here to debate with you, HQ.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna drop down, but I'll say this though, and I would like to hear what your thoughts on it, Aaron. I think that free lunch should be available to any student, just as the school bus is available. All kids not gonna need. Some kids get a ride to school. Some kids don't have a car at home. They need to get on that
Do
bus.
you want to know what my whole? I can give it to you in like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
If a child is born and the child needs any kind of government or public assistance, that child should get it. Full stop, lock, stock, and barrel.
Okay.
Both of the children's parents should also be required to be in the same home raising that children, and should be required to take part of some kind of rehabilitative program to see to it that those parents are back on the path to becoming self-sufficient while raising this child with the government assistance. All of this should be tracked. You should be earning your keep or on a path to earning your keep if you're going to lean on the government. We should be putting the father back into the home and incentivizing that with free lunches, free education, free all this, free food. I'm all for all of that. But the only way to be able to incentivize it should be to make sure families are whole and that we're making sure these families have what they need to grow and improve, rather than just continue letting poor decisions fall through the cracks and be tucked up under and break glass in case of emergency and let people take advantage of the system. That's the bullshit problem that I have.
We're always going to have poor parents. Period. We're always going to have poor people.
That's fine. But you see how I outlined a plan to ensure that doesn't continue? That's what I'm saying. We're not solution oriented. We're sitting here complaining about this problem and that problem on either side. No one has a viable solution that helps the actual family, therefore the community, grow so that these problems erase and are eliminated. That's why I say we're coming up with solutions to problems that shouldn't exist to begin with.
Yeah, but I'm saying they're going to exist because I could get married, get pregnant. I'm pregnant. My husband get killed.
Yes.
And now I'm poor. So now I need help.
No, they currently exist, but they don't always have to exist. And the solution should be oriented to prevent it from existing again.
We're never going to get rid of poor people, Aaron.
That's not what I said.
I'm gonna get out of here, but y'all cooking.
Okay. Let me finish the video. It's not. I don't finish the whole video. Just his.
Respect to you, Aaron, for sure.
Thank you, Ty. Thank you for coming up. Thank you for coming up too, Aaron. Thank you for coming up too. You want to hear the rest of the video? Thank you. Or no? Okay.
Comparing children to homeless. Like, what are we talking about? See, I want y'all to just think about it. So there's shitty parents out there, okay? and you want teachers to call the shitty parents to be like, hey, be better parents. Or you want to call child services? You want to call child services? You want to put them in foster care?
It may be better than having the shooty ass parents.
Have you looked into foster care, Stevie? Have you Googled foster care?
But you're describing these parents as ain't shit, bro. Like it is bad shit happens.
I know. I cover them. I cover them every day. There's a lot of ain't shit parents. There's a lot of ain't shit. You cover them.
There's a lot of ain't shit parents. Let me read it. Thank you, Rainbow Kid. Thank you. Geez, I never can see the doggone thing. I keep kicking it. I can't see it. The public school system spends over the 900 billion annually and has a gross mismanagement of funds. Are we really arguing against free food? Yes, we're arguing again for people to have free food. Get the mismanagement, get the waste, fraud, and abuse out of it, and feed the children school lunches. That's what we're saying. Okay. Keep going.
Videos have you done about baby mamas? How many videos have you done about baby mamas and dog shit parents? If I go to your channel right now, I'll find dozens, hundreds of videos. So you want teachers to call those parents and be like, hey, feed your kids.
You're saying that I'm telling teachers to call the parents. I never said that. I said they can call parties that do this for a living to find children the resources that they need.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're back on there. Okay. Go, Aaron.
All right, so I'm going to be very clear.
Okay.
Right. The part that I'm saying is to take control of waste management.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to be clear,
mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem with public and government assistance, but it should be offered with both parents in the home as they take part in some sort of rehabilitative plan to ensure that family can become productive in the future. In the meantime, yes, they're going to need sustenance, the entire family. So if they take EBT and buy food, they get free lunches at school, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
But there should be a program working in parallel to ensure that dynamic does not last forever, and so that they are set up to prevent their future lineage from falling back into the same dynamic.
Oh, this super chat was for you, Aaron. It said the public school system spends over 900 billion annually and has a gross mismanagement of funds. Are we really arguing about getting free school lunch?
I just outlined it again. No, I'm not arguing about getting free school lunch. I'm arguing about making sure the funds are managed properly. Right. I'm thinking about the future. I'm not thinking about just giving things away. I'm thinking about a plan, excuse me, to help prevent this from happening in the future.
I get that. But here's my argument. My argument is this. If we're going to give free things away, why not to the kids? Why worry about we're not worried about
say don't give it to the kids. I said I don't have a problem with free lunches. I don't have a problem with feeding families. Do so as long as there is a parallel program to help rehabilitate that family's ability to self-sustain.
If we
why does this keep getting missed?
No. We got it. I didn't realize you had already read understood the super chat and all that. We got it. I get it. I do. Let me finish.
All right.
Like teachers do this all the time. They'll see a child that may be neglected and they'll make the calls or alert people to, intervene. Right. But I mean, I feel like we're pushing it far out to like specifics of it, bro. At the end of the day, my point of view on it is that it's, abortion is a far larger problem than starving children. Children don't starve in America. They may be hungry, but they don't starve. This isn't fucking people.
How is he saying people be hungry, but they don't starve? How is that? Listen to his argument. It's wild.
It's not a famine going on. People are not dying because
they're not dying. But do you understand?
Like hypertension, obesity. There's much more obese kids than there are hungry kids, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the world's not perfect, though.
So he said, if you obese, I took it to mean if you obese, then you can starve. You ain't finna go hungry. This is wild.
It's not utopia, bro. So it's like I get, and then I'm a capitalist, dog. I'm not in support of the government coming out taking care of everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to oppose it. Like,
but you want the government to get involved and stop abortions.
I never said I don't give a fuck about what anybody does with abortion.
But did you say it's a bigger problem?
Yeah, I said it's a bigger problem, but I didn't give a solution to it. I know it's a problem. I never said what I want to do about it. I could care less. Like, it is what it is, dog. This life is fucking hard, dog. And some children are born in fucked up circumstances, bro. It is what it is.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. I think a lot of people would hear your stance or hear Charlie Kirk's stance and say, you guys aren't the best people because you don't seem to care about making sure that other people in society are okay, right? You guys are more focused on being capitalists and taking care of yourselves, which is okay. Do that. But if people want to look at you and say, well, you guys spread hate out there or you guys spread selfishness, I think that's okay. I think a lot of people allowed to do that.
I never said that was a problem. I said people can say whatever the fuck they want to say. My issue with people was celebrating his death, like championing pom-pom and that shit. That's the epitome of evil to me.
That's the epitome of evil.
That's not a right or left thing.
You think it's more evil to celebrate that man's death than it is for that man to advocate for the fact that children don't get meals?
But they can get meals. Is that the only video you've seen him talk about children?
You see Abba's argument against what Charlie was saying. He was advocating for all these programs to be cut. And I see that I can hear the same argument from the right. Cut these programs, food stamps, EBT, WIC, cut all these programs, just cut a person off. What's more evil? What's more evil? I just don't understand.
I'm just saying someone dancing in the room. I think it's bad. I agree. I think it's bad that someone danced in the room and thought it was great that Charlie Kirk died. But I also think it's bad that you're out there openly advocating for kids to not get meals in school because we have an obesity problem. I think that's also bad. I think so.
Get meals in school. I'm advocating for kids to take advantage of the surplus of food available to them in different ways that it is.
Yeah.
It's not on somebody to do it, bro. Like,
how?
You're shitty parents. I get it, but you're
not thinking beyond the fact that you don't want to give nobody no food. You're not thinking beyond that. We're saying give the school people the basics of food. That's it, for the people who need it and for the people who don't. They have money they give away overseas. They're giving money to Ukraine. They're giving money to Israel. They're giving money to all these countries, and you can't give our kids the basic lunch for free. That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
Disagree on that perspective, dog. Like, you think that the government should step in and save the world? I don't agree with that. I mean, if they do it, I'm not gonna contend it. I'm not, do what you want to do, bro. But I understand Kirk's perspective in that.
We pay so much in tax dollars, and most of it goes to the military to do funding wars overseas. I don't think it's so crazy to say, hey man, take 1% of that budget and make sure these kids don't go hungry. Take another 1% of that budget and take care of veterans. But maybe that's wrong. I just think it's crazy. It's me personally.
I wouldn't disagree with you with that, but I don't disagree with Kirk either. I mean, I don't think he should be painted as a demon for having that viewpoint.
I think it's pretty demonic to not want kids to have meals.
Please state it in the chat, Rainbow Kid. What's the point of the government? Please state it in the chat.
It's personally, that's me.
He never said he didn't want kids to have meals. Is that the only conversation you've seen Abba have discussing that topic?
When he was suggested a food program to make sure that kids who can't get access to good food or decent food or have malnutrition get food, he said, no, that's fucking stupid. Let the parents do it.
Can you answer my question, though? Was that the only video did you let that video play and see what else he said in regards to that discussion?
Yeah, I played it.
And what did he say?
He said that he thinks that the parents should take care of it. The state shouldn't be involved.
He said, pull it up right now. I've seen
it. You can pull it up, but that's what he said. He said the state should not be involved.
No, bro, you're a victim to the same thing everybody else going through, just getting sucked in by these reels, dog. He's named all these different avenues, these different ways of children to receive food. You're just
hold up. How does a hungry kid get food?
I gave you one example.
What is it?
If he's at school and teachers are aware of what the fuck's going on and they see a damn child coming in there looking emaciated, I don't know. I don't know what teachers, but I've seen instances where teachers step in and get the correct party involved to help said children.
Okay, so you want the state to get involved to make sure that kid gets school? You literally just like that's what you said. You want this? Do you know this?
I never said want. I said these resources are available to them.
But that's what your solution is, right?
That's not my solution. I'm giving you the fact that there's different avenues and resources for children to get food if they need it.
Okay.
I'm not saying what I want. I'm saying what's available to them. There's no reason to starve, dog.
All right. Hey, listen.
And yet, we are the richest country in the world, and yet we have people starving. There's no reason to starve, and yet we have people starving. I don't get it. I don't get that attitude. I don't get it.
We'll agree to disagree on this point. No reason for kids but statistically speaking, every year there's so many kids who are suffering.
That's perfect to healism. Accessibility. Available, but not accessible.
From malnutrition. That's what the numbers say. We'll move on to the next point.
And there's so many people that die from car accidents, bro. We get shit. It's fucked up shit happens.
What?
Like we can't save everybody. Bro. Like it is.
But just because we can't save everybody doesn't mean we don't try.
Right.
But there's avenues for them to be saved. Just maybe not with this school.
Yeah, like yes, car accidents happen every year. Doesn't mean we don't try to make cars safe.
Wild to me. This is wild to me.
Doesn't mean we don't make roads better.
And there's ways for children to get food.
Okay, man. I'm gonna disagree. I think that stance is crazy.
You don't think there's other ways for children to get food outside?
I don't know. Have you ever been a kid? You think kids just know where to get free food every day?
Right.
You truly think kids know what the resources are? Like, what are we talking about, man?
I don't know what their day-to-day is, man, but maybe there's media.
You don't know what their day-to-day is. Come on, bro. Come on.
Things are like ways that teachers can express this to children to like educate them on there's like sex reproduction type of information they get. There's like if there's a potential for a problem to be had, I'm assuming that there may be ways for schools or whomever to express these resources to kids to make them aware of it, at least. Like if they come in hungry, hey, we have this available if you are hungry. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how it is, but there are different ways for children to get food. I'm just making sure off the top of my head of how that connection may.
I made the point before. You can give money to Ukraine. You can give money to Israel. You can give money to whoever you want to give it to, but you take some of that money and you feed our poor children. You make sure our children are fed. Don't give me the bullshit about parents having to feed their own kids. If you can fund wars, you can fund the Pentagon, you can take some of that money and feed our people. You can feed our homeless. It's full stop. I'm not gonna have no argument about feeding no kids and the homeless veterans. I just ain't gonna have no argument about that. No.
Occur.
Yeah. I just think in terms of a worldview, we fundamentally disagree on this topic, but it's fine. We can move on to the next topic because I don't want to laugh in circles.
But look, first of all, like my only issue was the manufactured narrative. And then, we got to the bottom of, like you saying, you were contextualizing it in the video. I didn't receive it as such. Those are mainly the unless you have something.
No. Because I think you went over some of the stuff that I had because we both watch each other's videos.
Okay, so they went on. So that was the video. Okay, we get it. People don't want to feed other people's kids. I get all of that. I do. Okay, I do. But here's the thing. We have people that are hungry in this country. We have people that need to be fed in this country, regardless of whether they got money or not. Even kids, even rich kids that go to school, they see the free lunch and they take the free lunch. Just have it available for them to eat. That's it. I told y'all about my husband who, he would see the neighborhood kids come from school and he knew they had poor parents, or maybe they didn't have poor parents, who knew, but he would hand out food and sandwiches to the kids as they walk by. If they walk by my house, he would feed the kids sandwiches because he didn't know whether they had food or not. That's what my husband used to do if he was at home at that particular time. Okay, so I'm saying, y'all already know how I feel. I'm gonna have care and concern for the homeless, for the disabled, for the veterans, for the elderlies. The rest of y'all can go burn. I care about that group right there. And having school lunches helps them. Giving money, giving food away, free pantries and all of that stuff helps the homeless and the elderly and all of the above. We are only as strong as our weakest link. It is what it is. I believe that, full stop. We are only as strong as our weakest link. And when you say you don't want to give kids food in the schools, I got a problem morally with you. You're not living the Christian life like you say. You just ain't living the Christian life like you say. If you can give money to Israel, you can give money to Ukraine, you can give money to X, Y, and Z, but you can spend all that money on that funeral at Charlie Kirk's funeral, and you can't give no free lunch to kids because they mama is Bum Keisha, and Bum Keisha need to take care of herself, so she too poor. Since she was poor and she had sex, she need to do what she got to do. I don't want to hear it. That's the argument I'm not gonna have with you. If you don't want to feed the kids of our nation, but you want to give money to Israel, and you want to give money to Ukraine, and you want to give money to X, Y, and Z, we don't have no discussion about that. I don't even want to have no discussion with you about that, because our children are our most important resource, and we need to have I ain't crashing out nothing. I'm crashing out because I need to eat. But the final thoughts, put them in the chat. I gotta find that video that I put in the chat yesterday, because somebody said that I didn't have the whole bunch of names of the people who had who were doing the killings and all that stuff. Yes, I did. I had the video yesterday. I gotta go and eat. I appreciate y'all showing up. I'll be back at 10 o'clock. There'll be a different subject at 10 o'clock. I'll be back. This was a good discussion. Yes, it was. I appreciate y'all. Hit the like button, share button. We doing this every weekend, or we doing this every night, because there's a lot of things to talk about. No, little toilet, no. I gotta go eat. Y'all know I don't eat. Last time I ate was at 12 o'clock, and I think it was a bag of chips or something like that. I'm starving. I will be back 10 o'clock. I'll see y'all. Thank you for showing up. I love it. I love this.